So as you guys know, one individual who I've spoken about extensively on this channel is a content creator by the name of EthanIsOnline. In this video, I'll be compiling every single piece of content I've made so far discussing EthanIsOnline, controversies he's been involved in, his beef with me and other creators, and giving you a thorough timeline of what exactly has gone on in this guy's career so far, because I think he's one of the most interesting creators that I've spoken about on this channel. And I wanted to make this one long video so that anyone who has heard of EthanIsOnline or me and maybe curious as to who he is in my drama with this guy, they can just watch this one long video and basically get every piece of content I've made about this guy in one. So leave a like on this video and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And this is the story of EthanIsOnline, one of my least favorite creators. Anyway, let's get into it. So I'm on YouTube earlier today searching up the name of my favorite song, Beebs in the Trap by Nav and Travis Scott, trying to find the music video because that song with the music video is so damn good. But randomly as I'm searching for this song, a video gets recommended to me called Conservative Reaction Videos Are Miserable. Now, I would have ignored this video if not for the thumbnail, because the thumbnail features a channel by the name of Zeducation. Right next to Zeducation's face says, transphobic and blank stare for 10 minutes. Now, Zeducation is sort of this boomer humor meme review channel where he will look at like these like very woke memes and just give sort of some standard commentary about it. His videos are definitely political, but they're not political in the sense that this guy is like trying to push an agenda on somebody or he's trying to really like teach people about the right way to think or something like that. All he'll do is just find clips of far left SJWs saying some stupid shit and be like, hey, that's pretty stupid. I mean, it's like whatever, who cares, right? Now, how I know this guy is I used to watch his videos a whole lot when I had more free time, and one time when I was watching his videos, I think I left a nice comment, and basically that nice comment that I left ended up with him following me on Instagram and Twitter and shooting me a DM. Like, it was so random, but it was so kind of him, and I ended up telling him, like, hey man, I really appreciate the follow, your content's good, and, you know, man, like, it was very nice of you to follow me. I don't talk to this guy very often, but I know that he has a kid now, and he got married last year, so good for him, good for him. So when I saw this video, conservative reaction videos are horrible, I was kind of pissed off, because I know this guy's a good person, I can vouch for his character. So when I see a video by this guy who is probably in his 20s but somehow looks like a grandmother shitting on this guy for 20 minutes just because he disagrees with him politically, I'm a little bit worked up. And it would be one thing if this video was just sort of like, you know, critiquing this guy's content, actually giving valid criticisms, but not only are the points that this guy makes against education like not very good points, but half the points that he makes against education have nothing to do with his content. So yeah, we're gonna go over some of these points, I'm gonna defend education from this guy, and just overall respond to some of the retarded shit this guy says throughout his video, because trust me, there is a lot of it. Oh, and since this video is going to be a bit longer and a bit more controversial, you could say, if you guys could take a second to leave a like on this video, it would really help me out, especially because I know this video is going to get more dislikes than normal, and yeah, let's get into this.
Hi, YouTube is great and all, but lately I've discovered a new passion of mine, and that's being a farmer. A humble guy farmer, toiling the land and soil day and night for the most weird and annoying guys you can find on the internet. And boy, do we have a crop today. The harvest is bountiful and I hate it. Today we're talking about a YouTube channel with nearly 1 million subscribers called Zeducation. If I described to you a balding white man with a podcast who peaked in high school, you'd probably be able to perfectly capture exactly what this man looks like.
Okay, so right off the bat, you gotta stop, my guy. You're just wrong. Like, peaked in high school, my dude's got almost 1 million subscribers, and you just said he's middle-aged? How does that make sense? How does it make sense that he peaked in high school, but he's got almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube? Like, what, almost 10 times what you've achieved? Like, throughout the video, it's gonna sound like Zeducation is paying me to make this video in his defense, but no, I'm literally just making this video so this guy doesn't get away with saying half the retarded shit that he says in this video. Dude literally just had a kid and got married last year. How does that make sense that he peaked in high school?
Sorry to inject him into your head. Tyler Zed over here is a great example of how being a right-winger on the internet is literally just easy mode. You say nothing of value.
Is it a match? Stop. Stop it. What the? I think she's being serious. I think she's being really serious. She lit the match with a lighter to put the match into the candle.
Can be the most
No, wait, hold on a second. Your example as to how it's easy to be a right-wing content creator on YouTube is showing a clip of him reacting to somebody lighting a candle? Yeah, so you see, this guy's actually brain dead. He makes a point saying, oh, it's easy to be right-wing on the internet, but then he just shows a clip of him reacting to a completely non-political clip. If you want to make the point that reaction videos are easy to make on the internet, then make that point. Everybody will agree with you, dude. Twitch reactors make millions of dollars every year by sitting down eating their pork chops and watching other people's content. It's easy shit to do. Like, this guy could have genuinely made an editing mistake right there, and I would have no idea, because that clip has nothing to do with what he just said. Dude, he's reacting to a goddamn TikTok. Mr. Beast does that shit all the time. Like, what are you talking about? No, this guy's just brain dead.
Into the candle.
can be the most boring motherfucker on the planet.
It's made for kids, buddy. Self-awareness. Self-awareness. A, you're an adult, and B, self-awareness. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, and yet again, this has literally nothing to do with the point that you tried to make. The point you tried to make is, oh, this guy's a boring content creator to watch. And then the clip that you provide as evidence for that claim is just a random clip of him criticizing a TikToker. Like, what are you smoking? The funny thing is, too, is the double standard here is so prevalent, it's just like mind-numbing to an extent. Like, Hassan Piker, a far-left Twitch streamer, can literally go to his kitchen and eat dinner while a video plays on his stream, and nobody on the same political team as him will call him out. But the moment that some guy is literally reacting to content, like actually making transformative content, who has a different political opinion than you, then all of a sudden, oh, it's boring, dude. Give me a break.
And it's especially great because conservatives love using the same jokes over and over and over again, so you don't even have to come up with new material. Making content is so easy when you don't have any object permanence. And because Tyler has nothing to say about anything that isn't already said regularly by conservatives, he just kind of sits there and makes funny faces at TikToks.
Okay, dude, you're just wrong. Again, he's not making points about, you know, conservatism and why you should be a conservative because he can't. He just chooses not to. He prefers to just react to memes. Like, what? Zeducation isn't trying to be the next Ben Shapiro, and he doesn't have to try to be the next Ben Shapiro, dude. He's just looking at memes.
So the first video I want to look at today is called Woke SJW Cringe Compilation. Sorry, I thought it was the year 2015 for a second, and I was in high school again, and I was getting ready for a math test.
Okay, so obviously, yes, this whole SJW cringe compilation formula used to be a lot more popular in like 2015 and 2016, but dog, it is literally making a resurgence, so if people understand that it's going to get them views, and if people agree with what they're saying, then it's just naturally going to prosper in the algorithm. That's how this works. There have been time periods on YouTube where left-wing content has been highly favored by the YouTube algorithm, and there's been time periods where right-wing content has been highly favored by the algorithm, dude. Just because 2015 was the time period where right-wing content was probably the most, like, lucrative and the most profitable and the most successful, it's not like a one-and-done sort of thing, my guy.
If you want to be an annoying activist, and you're gonna go out and be obnoxious and wear things like this, people versus fossil fuels. A, you can do that if you want to. That's the beauty of this country, right? Free speech. You're supposed to be able to do that. But if you are gonna be annoying like that, just make sure you're walking the walk. It's not the best place to be wearing a people versus fossil fuels insignia, all right? Come on.
The funniest thing about guys like Tyler is that if you're half asleep and high and really stupid, maybe some of the snarky observations he makes might come across as clever or reasonable, but when you think about it for more than 10 seconds, it's clear that he cannot think critically at all.
Yeah, dude, let's hear about critical thinking from the guy who unironically used Tyler Zed reacting to a apolitical TikTok as an example as to why it's really easy to be a right-winger on the internet. Bro, do you not, like, at all have brain activity?
Not think critically at all. Like, if you're anti-fossil fuel, I guess don't fly anywhere, just drive places.
No, dude, he's just laughing at the irony of somebody wearing a humans versus fossil fuel backpack while you're boarding a plane. You can be anti-fossil fuel and still fly in planes, just like you look very stupid wearing a backpack that says, dude, stop fossil fuels at all costs, humans versus fossil fuels, as you're literally boarding the jet.
Just make sure you're walking the walk. It's not the best place to be wearing a people versus fossil fuels insignia, all right? Come on.
Like, that's literally what he said. Did he say, no, you can't fly in planes and wear that, you're a hypocrite? He just laughed. He laughed. It's just irony. You can find irony on all sides of the political spectrum. You can find right-wing irony. You can find irony on the right wing to react to. You can find memes that showcase right-wing irony. Dude, it's not a huge deal.
Like, if there were a carbon neutral option for flying, do you think this person wouldn't take it? Of course they would. But we don't get to choose things like that, Tyler. We don't have that choice in reality.
Yeah, but my brother in Christ, the person in this meme quite literally chose to wear that backpack while they're at the airport. If there's a time to wear that backpack, it's most certainly not when you're literally participating in something that the backpack preaches against.
Come on.
Come on, right, guys? You agree with me, right? Come on, come on. Come on.
It's like you sarcastically say that as if not that many people agree with him, but this dude gets nearly perfect like to dislike ratios.
So the majority of Tyler's content is either you laugh, you lose, or you cringe, you lose. And boy, does he sure do them a lot. I mean, you think the challenge would be over at a certain point because, of course, he's always laughing and cringing because that's the whole point is SJWs are bad.
So the point that this guy is making right now is that, oh, his content is repetitive, dude. It's really repetitive. But he only has an issue with the repetition because, again, it's on a side of the political spectrum that he's not a part of. This guy would never call out somebody like Hassan for all of their content simply being reacting to other people over and over and over again. And he would never call out somebody who's just completely apolitical, like Mr. Beast, for example, who just repeats a lot of the same content. And the problem is this guy can get away with these dog shit criticisms of Zeducation simply because people will be like, well, it may not be the best criticism in the world, but yeah, you know, it's for the greater good because Zeducation, he is a Republican, and that's pretty bad, so yeah, I'll still leave a like. Now, another thing that this guy harps on is that he doesn't find Zeducation entertaining, dude. Zeducation, he's too boring for him. Watch this clip.
If you cringe, you lose, and I'm reporting you to the Ministry of Truth. And that's a very real thing. Biden's Ministry of Truth. Censorship. I'm gonna get you banned off the internet. If you don't agree with the things in this video, if you don't let me jam it down your throat with the propaganda I'm about to show you, you're banned. The Ministry of Truth will get you, and I will report you to Big Sister.
Man, that sure went on for a long time.
Okay, shut your goddamn mouth. I have ADHD, and I can sit through a 20-second clip without losing my mind, unlike you. I should add this guy to one of my faking disorders videos, because he's acting like he's literally physically incapable of sitting through 20 seconds of content. I'm sorry that you don't have the mental capacity to sit through somebody speaking for 20 seconds at a normal pace. Again, what a horrible point to make. And this is just a self-report, like you're just saying far more about yourself and the fact that you can't handle 20 seconds of a guy talking than this guy being somehow a very boring individual. It's also not even like you showed his actual content. You played an intro to one of his videos, an introduction where he introduces what he's talking about. Brother, dude, your video is just bad.
At its root, Elon Musk's wanting to purchase Twitter is not about left versus right. It's about white power.
Okay, so this tweet is retarded, let's be clear. Nobody in their right mind thinks Elon Musk is trying to promote white power, so Zeducation is totally within his right to cringe at this tweet, but let's see what our boy thinks about this.
Okay, but what was wrong with what that tweet said?
Delete your channel.
Elon Musk was literally raised by people who directly profited from apartheid. Do you think that doesn't shape a person? But besides that, Elon's insistence that Twitter will become a more pro-free speech platform only means empty-headed morons like Tyler will be able to continue posting racist and homophobic and transphobic shit.
I mean, did you even do a drop of research when you did this video? This, like, hit piece? I'm going on his Twitter right now, and not only do I not see a single thing about race or transgender people, I just see memes about Amber Heard and inflation, dude. Like, at least show a tweet where he says something that can be even remotely interpreted as any of the things that you just said, but no, you're not even gonna do that because you're lying, dude.
But besides that, Elon's insistence that Twitter will become a more pro-free speech platform only means empty-headed morons like Tyler will be able to continue posting racist and homophobic and transphobic shit without being banned. Meanwhile, leftists are going to continue getting banned for reasons that right-wingers never would.
So if you were smart, here's where you would provide an example of that, but he doesn't end up doing that, so unlucky.
In fact, it might even get worse. If Elon has full control over Twitter, he can prevent people from organizing unions.
This dude doesn't even know the difference between an owner and a CEO. Holy dude. If Elon was the CEO, then he could do that, but he's not going to be the CEO. He's going to be the owner. Literally one Google search for that clarification, bro. You're just not smart.
Hey, I did a thing today. I deactivated my Twitter account. You can too.
Bye-bye. See you guys.
Dude, of fucking course this balding loser is using clips.
Oh, dude, you're a balding loser. Unlike me, I'm just so awesome with my dyed long hair. And I'm freakishly pale to the point where I actually look like this character from The Amazing World of Gumball. But no, dude, you're just an ugly white guy.
From the Libs of TikTok account that has 7 likes. What the fuck do you think this is representative of? 8 people? Alright, man, you really owned those 8 people. Like, there's no arguing with someone that stupid.
Dude, he didn't even make a point. This person said they're leaving Twitter, and he was like, okay, see you. Like,
The platform is infinitely better without the wokies on there. But, you guys, they can go build their own platform, right? It's that easy.
Of course, a lot of the content that Tyler picks out is very cringe, but honestly, there's very little on the internet to me that's more cringe than a fully grown man in the year 2022 using terms like SJW and wokies. Like, come on, man. Glass houses, huh?
okay, so back to that whole intelligence thing, you know, he's like, oh, dude, oh, you're still using the word wokies? That's so old that nobody uses that word anymore. Well, if you go to Google Trends, which pretty accurately gathers information as to the popularity of certain search terms, the word wokie only started gaining traction in 2020 and is literally peaking right now. You sound stupid saying, oh, dude, it's over. That phase of the internet is over. Dude, the phase of the internet is literally, like, happening right now. It's the same thing with words like woke, cancel culture, cringe. Social justice has always been popular, so to say that it's dead is just wrong. So I don't know what you're trying to say, that this guy's like a dinosaur. Dude, you're using all these old words. Nobody uses these words anymore. You're not hip and cool, when not only would it not matter if he's hip and cool, but the information from Google.com says otherwise.
Most bleeders know how they are impacted by their period, but unfortunately aren't in touch with their feelings and symptoms in the other phases of their cycle. We are here to change that. Bleeders. Bleeders. The crazy part is if you have any opinion on that, you're banned from the Ministry of Truth, and that's a fact. From today.
Banned from what, man? Canceled how? If you're gonna lie, at least tell the whole thing.
I mean, dude, come on now. You can't just act like you have no idea that people are losing their jobs over, like, gendered language and stuff. I feel like the reason that he didn't provide evidence for why you would be canceled is because it's so obvious with all these headlines that you see of teachers losing their jobs for using the wrong pronouns or misgendering somebody. Don't act like this isn't a real thing that is happening, dude. Yeah, obviously his specific meme that he looked at wasn't, like, referring to, you know, pronouns, but it's the same topic of gender and you know, words that we use to communicate gender.
It's so weird to me that conservatives are always talking about how hard it is to remember all these frickin' dang pronouns. Every single person that you've ever met, you've had to remember their pronouns.
Dude, this guy cannot be serious. The reason why it was kind of easier to remember people's pronouns, I don't know, for the entirety of human history up until like 10 years ago, was because, there was 2 sets of pronouns. Versus, how many do we have now? I mean, go to Instagram and go to your bio. You can choose however many you want.
That's a thing now. Guys, accept it. Accept it, you bigot.
Tyler only put this clip in his video because these 2 people have colored hair.
Is this a joke? Like, is he actually joking right now? Like, I feel like I'm being psyoped. Are you dumb? He included this clip in his video because 2 people were barking at each other. What? Like, at the beginning of the video, don't get me wrong, this guy's points were bad, but at this point in time, I don't even know if he's, like, lying on purpose or if he's just, like, this stupid.
He acts like people are forcing you to think that this is cool and normal when that's not the case at all.
Okay, so this is, like, more than double the length of my normal video, so I am gonna wrap it up here. If you guys have enjoyed, click one of the videos on screen now to be transported to a brand new video of mine. Comment down spaghetti if you made it to the end of the video, and I'll try to heart your comment. Big thanks to all my channel members. As always, you guys rock. Follow my social medias. Links are all down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's a phrase meaning that you cannot make people change their established patterns of opinion and behavior. Today we're going to be looking at somebody who truly embodies this phrase. Enter EthanIsOnline, YouTuber with 170,000 subscribers. I called this guy out around 5 months ago for a video that he had made where he blatantly lies about another YouTuber who had done absolutely nothing wrong except exist while having a different political standpoint than EthanIsOnline and upload try not to laugh challenges to memes. Now, Zeducation uploading try not to laugh challenge videos was deeply upsetting to Ethan, so he made a 20-minute long video trying his best to smear his education as some sort of transphobic, homophobic, racist, xenophobic, lazy, evil person, and it's just like, dog, you gotta get a better grip on reality, man. Like, you gotta go outside and smell that fresh air. Maybe get your ass over to the barber shop or something, you know, maybe kind of clean up a little bit of the 6 months of using Twitter haircut, or not, you don't have to, that's okay. The funniest part about that video is he contradicts himself multiple times. A point that he had made against education was that his content was bad because he was reacting to TikToks that only had a couple of likes, basically saying that laughing at them wasn't cool because, I don't know, pick on somebody your own size. When funny enough, only like a minute later, he goes on to read comments in Zeducation's comment section that had like 2 likes.
Hey, I did a thing today. I deactivated my Twitter account. You can too.
Bye-bye. See you guys.
Dude, of fucking course this balding loser is using clips from the Libs of TikTok account that has 7 likes.
Okay, so you would never do the same thing, basically.
I guess they don't realize petroleum is used in 30,000 items, including cell phones. That's right, you can't be against petroleum now. You have to drink it every day.
Oh my god, holy shit, owned, am I right? You just dunked on some guy with 29 likes in the comment section. Like, this guy can literally just stand there, be a coconut for 20 minutes, barely come close to making a cohesive point, but as long as he calls somebody transphobic, his actually retarded audience will like light up with joy and click the like button. Here's my impression of the inner monologue of an average EthanIsOnline viewer. Huh? Transphobic? Oh, he called someone transphobic? Let's go! Let's go, dude! Anyways, that's just some context for you and a little bit of clowning. So today he's back in action because he actually made a video, a 60-minute fucking video, on a fellow commentary channel by the name of Sensitive Society. Now, I know you guys know who that is because in my YouTube analytics, I have a little box that says other channels that your viewers watch, and Sensitive Society is there, so I'm sure you guys know who this is. I'm well acquainted with the guy. I've known him ever since he had like 1,000 subscribers. Him and I had a similar rise in success on YouTube at the same time, so I've always kind of kept in touch with him. I think he's a good guy. I find his videos to be actually pretty entertaining for a commentary channel. Without facecam, it can be hard to have a presence in your video, but he does a great job of injecting personality. So yeah, obviously I don't agree with everything he says in his videos. You know, we just have different opinions on certain things. We're very similar in a lot of ways, I feel. But yeah, this new video that EthanIsOnline has dropped is called Lazy Content is Radicalizing People. So we already have an issue because our friend Ethan here does not seem to understand what the word radicalize means. So Google defines radicalize as causing somebody to adopt radical positions on social or political issues. So the example for the word that they give is some of those involved have been radicalized by the Vietnam War. So you're telling me that Sensitive Society's videos can radicalize people to the same extent that the active combat of the Vietnam War did to veterans? Yeah, I don't know what it is, but for some reason I doubt that. If you think that I'm being unfair with my comparison, dog, I'm using the Google example. Now this video is going to be long because his video was long, so we're gonna have to watch his video in 2 times speed. So leave a like on this video and get ready, boys, because today we're gonna be looking at YouTube's biggest liar once again. Alright, let's do this.
2015 YouTube is back and in a big way, folks. I mean, Leafy got banned quite a while ago, little fucking Nazi. And yet there still remains an entire genre of boring, hypocritical, bigoted gamers out there that feel the need to just throw their opinions out there. Hey, fucking newsflash, asshole. Not that many people give a shit. If you hate women, you don't have to say it out loud. Like, you're allowed to be quiet.
Video starts, my dog is already very upsetty spaghetti, so we're gonna try to already dissect what he's saying. So he's talking about the gameplay commentary genre, which Leafy pioneered, a format where basically you can just talk over gameplay about a certain subject. He criticizes the entire genre by saying that A, it's boring, and B, no one cares about what you have to say. So using me or Sensitive Society as our first example, apparently I guess nobody cares about what we have to say, even though I have almost 300,000 subscribers and he has 360,000 subscribers. We both have over 100,000 more subscribers than you. So if nobody cares about what we have to say, then what does that mean for you, lil bro? Now his videos do get more views, but that's because he only uploads like once a month or once every 4 weeks, and the videos that he does upload are long. Very, very long. And the thing about the YouTube algorithm is that long videos get views, period. If I would upload videos that were almost always over 20 minutes or over 25 minutes, those videos would get hundreds of thousands of views. Matter of fact, if you search my name up on YouTube and then click on the filters and filter by only videos that are over 20 minutes, surprise, surprise, those videos get a shitload of views. All of this to say that his beginning point of the entire video is just completely incorrect and demonstrably false. Gameplay commentary channel channels like myself and Sensitive Society get millions of views in aggregate, so to say that nobody cares about the opinions held by creators in the genre is just a stupid thing to say. He then says that, oh, if you hate women, you don't have to say it. Keep it to yourself, asshole. Literally nobody in the genre who I've interacted with hates women. Nobody with a sizable platform in the gameplay commentary genre hates women. If there is somebody, I for sure haven't seen them. It's also just funny too how Ethan, I believe, is a single man, while the two gameplay commentary channels that he attacks within his video, Sensitive Society and Difo, are both in relationships with women. Sensitive Society's got a girlfriend and Difo's got a wife. Now as for me, I'm in my first semester of university, so you're not really supposed to have a girlfriend. Like, I'm in a completely different environment than I was a couple months ago, and I'm still kind of adapting to it, you know? But buddy over here is grown. Listen, bro, it's not a crime to not have a girlfriend, like, that's fine. But since this is the case, you just can't call other people who do have girlfriends women haters. But tell me, bro, would a toxic, misogynist, incel, you know, horrible man, whatever, post this on his Instagram with his girlfriend? All I'm saying is to shut the fuck up and stop calling people incels on the internet, especially when the people that you are calling incels just literally aren't. It makes you seem very desperate to bring these people down to the point where you would literally lie about them.
If you're not familiar, all these fucking losers do is pull up random video game footage that they recorded earlier that day and talk about something over it. It's not a new format by any means. It's been really lame for the better part of a decade. But because it allows so many deeply insecure young men to voice their opinions about feminism being bad or whatever while hiding behind footage of Doom Eternal, it remains a very popular medium.
So in the world that Ethan lives in, basically, if you hold an opinion that differs from him and you share that opinion over gameplay, it makes you an insecure person and apparently you're hiding. So I want to make a couple things clear. I don't not show my face because I'm insecure. It's for privacy and also because showing gameplay is efficient. It's quick to make videos with gameplay. And also, who doesn't like watching gameplay? And additionally, I don't know if you know this, but game developers do the most work to make their games the most appealing to the eye. And YouTube is video, so why would I not want to have something that people like to watch? I mean, to me, this seems like kind of common sense. Maybe it's hard for Ethan to understand, but that's okay. Hopefully, I kind of explained it for him here. If he still doesn't get it, well, that's unfortunate.
It's really difficult to find content these guys put out that doesn't just automatically pull from the floating cloud of right-wing talking points that consistently loom over YouTube.
So according to this guy, most of the gameplay commentary genre consists of videos around these subjects: trans people weird, OnlyFans bad, bootstraps, I don't even know what that one means, fat equals bad, wokeism is ruining TV, SJWs, gender, and homophobia. Alright, so I see like two of these that I actually agree with. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that OnlyFans is bad. Is that like, do people disagree on that? OnlyFans is a service that allows for hot women to capitalize off of desperate, lonely, antisocial men. And with the crazy success that OnlyFans has had as a platform, it's without a doubt warped the perception of younger women into believing that their only asset is their body, and that selling their body on OnlyFans is not only respectable, but also just good for society. So yeah, definitely OnlyFans is bad. And then fat equals bad? Like, yeah, fat people aren't bad, and just, you know, being fat doesn't make you a bad person, but being clinically overweight has absolutely no benefits to your life and only increases the risk of harm happening to you. This whole notion of health at all sizes is completely nonsense, and when people in the gameplay commentary genre respond to people that believe that, you know, you can be healthy at all sizes and that fat activism is the future, people like EthanIsOnline and folks in his kin, they mindlessly just call you fat phobic and say that you hate fat people. I'm not gonna go over the rest of them because homophobia and like transphobia, it's a complete waste of time to try to convince somebody on the internet that you're not transphobic or homophobic, especially when they strongly believe that you are that thing. So I'm just gonna let him carry on with his video.
In other words, not only are these guys really lazy, but they're also really unoriginal. So if you've heard these talking points before, congratulations. Get ready to hear them again. The channel we're going to start with is Sensitive Society. He made a video called People Like This Disgust Me.
Wait, hypocrisy? Your issue with Sensitive Society is hypocrisy? Dog, didn't we just, like, figure out that that's what you do as well?
Some of you have been telling me to react to this TikToker called Kaya Mintz. I've been hearing nothing but bad stuff about this TikToker. I haven't seen any of these person's TikToks. Judging from some of these thumbnails, day in the life of a content creator, like when I see stuff like this, like all I think is, you're cringe. And number two, you've never had a hard day in your life.
Holy shit, dude. Imagine being this bitter about someone's content that you've never seen.
Imagine being so bitter at someone's content who you've never seen. 2 minutes ago, you were bitter calling me a fucking loser because I don't use Facecam.
If you're not familiar, all these fucking losers do is bitter fucking losers.
Hi, I'm Heisenberg.
When I make a video about weirdos like this and I say they're all the same and they're lazy and they're assholes and they're pieces of shit, that's because I've spent hours watching their videos.
Also, dude, at the beginning of the video, you said, man, nobody cares what y'all have to say. Who even watches this stuff? When you seem to care a lot about what we have to say, and you just said that you watch hours of this stuff. Also, I'm sorry, but since Sensitive Society wasn't even bitter. He was just like, this is cringe.
I've kind of earned the right to be like, you know what? Your videos aren't very good. He also does this really sneaky little rat-like thing where he shows 2% of like 6 different thumbnails rather than showing one full thumbnail, which would really give us a good idea as to why he might be so disgusted by this person's content. He's trying to justify his vitriol and hatred for someone making day in my life TikToks.
Bro, I gotta stop you. Vitriol and hatred? What on earth makes you think that Sensitive Society cares about this guy enough to hate him? He looked at a thumbnail, called it cringe, and said the person making the video probably has never worked a hard day in their life, and you interpret that as them being a hateful and vitriolic person, my man. You gotta be terminally online to think that calling somebody cringe on the internet is hatred.
Day in the life of a small Twitch streamer. Started my day pretty early at around 2 a.m, so I went to my local gas station for a couple drinks, went home and did my normal usual routine, and then I had to go to Walmart because my fridge was almost empty. Came home, edited a couple videos, had a 4-hour stream that peaked at 56 viewers and averaged 23, and then I was pretty tired.
You're acting like this is the hardest thing in the world.
Hey man, so when did he say that? When did he ever say the word hard or any synonym?
Yeah, so if you weren't lying like you are right now, you would know that what you're looking for is actually in the video, and I can play the clip for you right now.
Tired from what? Content creation is harder than your 9 to 5. You really don't know how much hard work goes into creating multiple videos a day. Being constantly creative with new video ideas, trying to make footage look good, getting new shots, taking many takes over and over, it can get to be a lot.
Oh no, you didn't. This man said this fucking guy, being a content creator is harder than working a 9 to 5.
Hey man, so when did he say that?
Oh, hey man, he said it right there, okay? It took me literally 2 seconds to find that clip. How are you this bad at criticizing somebody?
You have the clips, like you could show it.
So guys, I have to get up at 2 a.m. and get some drinks and that gamer juice. So the gamer juice consumes my body, goes through my veins, goes into my penis, makes me really hard. My problem here is you're low-key acting like this is a 9 to 5 and someone forced you to wake up at 2 a.m.
Okay, so horrific attempt at a joke aside, he literally never said any of that.
Yes, he did. I just showed you it. Oh my goodness, man. This video is going to be so annoying to make because I have to actually, like, explain and reiterate things that are so basic to normal people. Because I'm not explaining this to a normal person. I'm explaining this to EthanIsOnline. The dude is so terminally online that he made it his YouTube name. I mean, think about that. If you think that's normal, then you need to go outside too.
It's a strangely common mentality among reactionary sickos that anyone posting about their life, regardless of what they even say about it, is somehow like clamoring for undeserved sympathy, which to me is just really obvious projection. Like, you can't think about sharing your life without airing some kind of grievance that you have, so everyone must be thinking the same.
Bro, what? First of all, reactionary sickos, okay. You're reacting to videos right now, genius, so that also makes you, in your own words, a reactionary sicko. Also, what are you even trying to say?
That anyone posting about their life, regardless of what they even say about it, is somehow like clamoring for undeserved sympathy.
No. Not at all, actually. Not even a little bit close. Guy is saying that people like Sensitive Society or I, when we see somebody posting about their life online, that we think that they're doing it for sympathy, regardless of what they talk about, and that does not make sense at all.
I'd love a clip of this streamer being like, I hate my life, or my life is so hard, or really anything remotely similar to that.
Turn on your brain.
Okay, so now we're in the brain of a 6-year-old, where the only hard jobs that exist are truck driver, military, fireman.
Saying what you just said in a baby voice doesn't falsify it at all. Are those jobs not hard jobs? Is being a fireman not a hard job? Is being a coal miner not a hard job? These jobs compared to being a YouTuber are objectively harder. It's the truth. Ethan would likely respond by saying something like, well, you don't make real content, you do gameplay, so obviously that's gonna be easier than being a fireman or something. But even if I made quote-unquote real content according to Ethan, which is basically just content with a face cam, that would still not even be close or even near comparable to the job of a firefighter or a coal miner or a construction worker or, you know, etc. The internet becoming lucrative and profitable over the 2010s has without a doubt warped the perception of people who make their money on the internet. People who make 6 figures plus a year on the internet genuinely think that because their editing software crashed one time, that they have it really hard as a content creator. I will never not be grateful for the fact that I can make money off YouTube. And unlike some people on the internet, I will never lose the perception that my job relative to most jobs is really easy.
The next video I want to talk about is called She Thinks Being Skinny is a Privilege. Nope. You'll never guess what his takes are about fat people. You're never gonna guess. You never guess it.
Whoa, an earthquake! No, I'm kidding.
That's so awesome. I love first grade humor. Being 8 years old must be really fun.
Oh, dude, making fat jokes is first grade humor. Why? Oh, because I said so. It's definitely not like comedians that do 21 and over shows still sell out arenas and tell fat jokes in their sets.
I know, you're not supposed to shame. You're not supposed to fat shame. You're not supposed to slut shame. They're like shaming. Like people aren't supposed to walk around with any shame. It's like a legitimate human emotion, but you're not supposed to feel it at all. You know, you're supposed to just walk around like a dictator. You're not gonna feel any shame. You never felt shame? Yeah, you're supposed to have no shame. That's the new world. You're just gonna walk around sucking dick, you know, eating cookies, and just show up, and nobody's supposed to say anything?
Imagine being with this guy and then just making a fat joke. You don't really think about it, it just comes to you, you just tell a fat joke. Because in real life, you don't really think about the repercussions of jokes when you're kind of like with normal people. Because normal people in real life don't actually care if you make a joke. And in real life, if somebody doesn't find your joke funny, they just won't laugh. You know, they're not gonna be like, hey bro, first grade humor? Really? Hey. Knock it off, big guy. Hey, knock it off.
Here's the thing. I do think that people choose to be fat. I do believe that there's some people that are just so fucking lazy and they just love to eat junk food and they can't go one day without having a burger shoved down their fucking throat. I do believe that. That's on you.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? The escalation of that sentence was just crazy to hear. I do think it's a choice to be fat, but some lazy fucking motherfuckers just can't stop stuffing burgers in their mouth. Like, oh my god, being honest about how much you hate fat people for looking fat is...
Dude, didn't I tell you that it was exactly what he was gonna do? Criticizing people for eating themselves to death. Whoa, dude, just say you hate fat people, okay? Instead of responding to what he actually said, he has to pretend like sensitive society is trying to say something else. He's like, bro, just say you hate fat people. It's like, why would he just say something that he's not trying to say? Or why would anybody do that? Ever.
Way less disturbing than what you just said. Obviously, being fat is not a fucking choice. The amount of corn sweeteners in things that do not need them in the United States is unreal. Did you know there's high fructose corn syrup in things like chips, crackers, bread?
Then don't eat those things. Like, genuinely, am I the only person who looks at the ingredients list for the things that I eat? I'm not gonna say this because I think that I'm better than anybody, but when I see something that has high fructose corn syrup in it, I try to avoid it as much as I can. It's the same thing with seed oils and isoflavonoids and, you know, high sodium foods. Seriously, I mean, it's not a ridiculous take to say that the people that do put those things into their bodies are making a conscious choice. Most foods that you buy have an ingredients list. You're gonna put that in your body, you should probably know it's in it. Never doing that and just blindly eating foods is reckless. But even putting that aside, there's stuff that even just common sense tells you not to do. Ethan is sitting here and saying that of course being fat is not a choice, when you have people like Nikocado Avocado choosing to be fat. And how does he do that? Well, I think Sensitive Society said it pretty well, and I'm sorry that he disagreed with it.
Called, she thinks being fat is healthy and we should only date fat people. Here's my response. These people think being fat is healthy. If you're not fat, you're fat phobic. Not something anyone has ever said. This is not healthy. This is what being healthy in 2022 looks like. Pathetic. Gen Z thinks being skinny is racist. Again, no one thinks that. Go outside. Go outside.
Go outside, bro. That's a crazy thing for you to say. You're not Ethan is outside. You're Ethan is online. So don't be telling others to go outside. Also, you said that nobody thinks that being skinny is racist. Dog, there are definitely people who think that. Sabrina Strings explains how fat phobia is rooted in racism.
Our patients. That means when they come in, they can take their weight. But their weight is not going to be the main thing they're going to talk to them about. They're going to talk to them about their family history. I
don't know what you're saying, but I'm just including that clip to disprove what you're saying, which is that nobody thinks that. People do think it, and the people that think it are crazy and deserving of reaction videos made by me are sensitive.
Streaming website. Put 10 boobies on there, I don't give a shit! Not that it's a perfect statistic or anything, but according to Google Trends, ASMR and hot tub streams are at almost their lowest point they've ever been. And they're so integrated into the platform at this point, like who gives a shit? Twitch is more or less the fucking same. What is the slippery slope argument anyway?
Okay, two things here. Number one, hot tub streams and booby streamers are bad for Twitch. They changed the culture of the website for the worse, and they also just get men to donate to them for basically just being hot, hence why they're called booby streamers. Second of all, this guy is only using Google Trends because in the video that I made about him 5 months ago, I used Google Trends on his ass. I'm not even gonna include the clip, bro. It was on the first video I made of him. You can go find it. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. We got the 20 minutes, so I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, please show some love for the longer videos. This took me like 5 or 6 hours to make. Not saying it's hard, but they take more effort than the normal ones, so anyways. I'll catch you guys later, alright? Enjoy.
Acheeto made a video on her yesterday.
He's made like
6 videos about Queer Kiwi. And he's a huge, gargantuan piece of shit. Acheeto is a fucking worm, dude. Acheeto is a fucking worm, dude.
Need I say more shit?
So EthanIsOnline is a YouTuber who I've made 2 videos on in the past. The 2 videos I made were both videos that were responses to his videos in which he attacked my friends. He's an out-of-shape loser who makes videos where he actually tells people to touch themselves. It's very strange.
Trust me, if you're honest with yourself about how you approach porn and sex in general, you're probably not gonna be as ashamed about engaging in those things. It's not a bad thing, it's normal.
That clip is from a nearly 13-minute video where he responds to TikTokers who are saying, hey dude, just stop like beating your meat all the time and go out and find a girlfriend. And you have to love how implicit in his argument where he's like, well, beating meat isn't bad, it's normal. It's like, well, normal doesn't mean good. Like, yes, there's a lot of bad things that are normal. The average age that a young man is exposed to on the internet is 11 years old, and that's assuming median distribution. So that means that 50% of the young men who have been exposed to porn have been exposed to it before age 11. Being exposed to this sort of content, especially at a young age, and then becoming addicted to watching it is a normal thing in our society. It is also a very bad thing in our society. But you have these gross 23-year-old men who dress up like girls in their free time telling you that it's a good thing. But this sort of take shouldn't surprise you considering all the other takes that this guy espouses. This guy called a stand-up comedian a misogynist because the comedian called a girl in the audience ugly because the girl in the audience was heckling. Like, okay, bro. You can call people ugly and not hate their gender, like I'm doing it to you right now. Like, you look unwell, your eye bags are purple, all your hair is dead, you have an unhealthy body fat percentage, like you're obviously obese, you smoke way too much weed, you watch too much porn, you clearly do not get enough sunlight, but according to you...
And he's a huge, gargantuan piece of shit.
My friend, you're the only one who's huge and gargantuan.
Acheeto is a fucking worm, dude.
Nah, I live a much better, healthier, and successful life than you, and you got 5 years on me. You got half a decade on me. You're just too grown to be coming at me like that. And listen, he's allowed to respond to me. You know, I've made these videos on him. It's fair game. But I don't know, man. I feel like he takes this shit way too seriously. I mean, I guess it's expected. His name is EthanIsOnline. Like, I guess he'll take the internet way too seriously. But like, every time I've made a video on somebody, I make the video, I upload it, and I just forget about it. Like, I just don't even think about it like that. I power on my PC for about like an hour a day just to record and upload, and then I just turn it off and I don't turn it on again until the next day when I do the same thing. This dude's computer's on 24/7, man. Like, he's always thinking about this stuff. And that's proven by the fact that his name is EthanOnline, the fact that he streams for sometimes 6 hours at a time, the fact that a lot of his videos are super long. I mean, this dude is addicted to it. But this is all a side tangent just about him. And at the end of the day, do I really know how he lives his life? I don't. That's correct. But from what I'm seeing on the screen, it's not looking too good. But anyways, today we're gonna be looking at a video where he talks about comedians. And I mentioned before how he called a widely loved comedian a misogynist, and I just want to look at that video because it just really shows how he just doesn't have a sense of humor.
One of the last comedians that I found on TikTok is Jimmy Carr. I find him incredibly creepy, and I don't know a lot about him. I don't think I want to. You'll see what I mean.
I used to date this incredible looking woman, just beautiful. I mean, we're still together, but she's let herself go. It's as if they're an ugly woman at the back going, boo.
Sorry, motherfucker, what? You can't laugh like that. It's not allowed. You're not supposed to laugh in that way. Laughter is supposed to be...
Alright. Yep. There we go. Like, are you actually mad at the way he's laughing? Like, you can laugh at his laughter and just be like, oh, that's funny. That's not a normal laugh. But now you're like, you're upset about it. Okay.
Bird call.
What, sorry? Rude? So sorry, when I said there's an ugly woman at the back, you went, hey, he's talking to me. Yeah. Rude. I mean... It's self-esteem. There's nothing I can do about your self-esteem. That's why they call it self-esteem. What's your name, madam? Kelly. Kelly, I'm going to go soft on you, like every man that's ever seen you naked.
Why does he look like that? Why are his eyes yellow like a Sith Lord? Why does he feel like he was built in Detroit Become Human? Who is this man? I'm frightened of him. Also, again, woman heckles set, initiate fucking misogyny protocol.
Oh my god, shut the f up. Some dumb idiot in his audience was like, oh, that's a rude joke, and then he went ruder on her because it was funny how a joke about a woman that was ugly, that had nothing to do with anybody in the room, offended somebody that was in the room, likely because they have their own insecurities about their looks. Do you understand the joke now?
I don't know. It doesn't happen as much when men do it. When men do it, it's never like, you're ugly and fat.
Yeah, because fat and ugly men don't heckle because they know if they did, they'd get destroyed. Also, Jimmy Carr did not even call the girl fat. He just called her ugly because she booed at a joke aimed at a completely different woman who he called ugly.
But when women heckle, it's always immediately like, you dumb fucking bitch, I'll kill you.
No.
No, I'm just saying, Kelly, you're what dimmer switches were invented for. That's all I'm saying. You ever wonder why there's always a dimmer switch in a bedroom? That.
He just said the same joke twice. Are you allowed to do that? I think like most professional sports, if stand-up comedians want to take themselves as seriously as they say they do, they should have rules and regulations. Rule number 1, you can't tell the same joke twice. Even if you rephrase it, it's not a different joke now. You know, that's a foul, turnover. You know, I have to eject you. You have to go to the timeout box.
It's very funny. While he said you can't say the same joke twice, he said you can't say the same joke twice in like 3 different ways.
You know, that's a foul.
That's a foul.
Turnover.
That's a turnover.
You know, I have to eject you.
You're ejected.
You have to go to the timeout box.
Go to the timeout box? Bro, you just did the same thing. Except, unlike Jimmy Carr's, you know, yours wasn't funny.
Rule number 2, Jimmy Carr is not allowed on a stage. He's not allowed to tell comedy because he does not know what it is. He has not been programmed with comedy in mind.
That's just you self-reporting that you have no sense of humor. I mean, most of this guy's stand-up specials have like over a 7 out of 10 rating on IMDb, which is actually really good when you consider how subjective comedy is. I think you just really needed to fill time in your video, so you're like, okay, I'll take this comedian who, deep down, yeah, I probably know that he doesn't hate women, so, whatever, man. We could probably just trick my retarded audience into believing that he does hate women by showing a clip where he insults a female audience member. Bingo.
And I don't know, maybe I just don't understand comedy or jokes or laughter. You know, all I know is video games and gay sex.
Yeah, that's actually probably right, let's be honest. Was that even sarcasm? Like I feel like that's exactly the only things that he's good at.
But I think we can, you know, expect people who are professional comedians to be a little better than that. Comedy is obviously subjective.
Okay, not all cops are awful, but...
Okay, I'm not watching this because this is already a bad take. That's a horrible take.
As you guys know, I have some ops on this channel. Some channels that I don't like or have beefed with previously. One of these people is a YouTuber named EthanIsOnline. He has a decent sized channel where he posts commentary videos covering a wide range of topics, and I guess the only real thing that most of these topics have in common is that he talks about all of them from like a leftist perspective. Now, in light of recent events, a lot of people have been starting to realize what I've been saying for a while, which is that this guy sucks. EthanIsOnline played a big role in the entire attempted career assassination of Supermega with Nick Is Not Green and Lex Updog, a coordinated attack to ambush these people's career through lies, slander, and defamation. Now, ironically, that was the name of my first video talking about this guy. This YouTuber can't stop lying. Now, this scorching hot banger fresh out of the oven dropped actually over a year ago at this point, and I gotta say, boys, it's aged like a beautiful fine wine. It's so funny too because liars will stay liars, and when I called this guy a liar a year ago, I knew that he was going to continue lying in his videos, lying on his social media, but eventually you lie about something so serious and get involved in something so significant and detrimental where it's going to come back to bite you, buddy. And the proof is in the pudding, okay? His newest video has more dislikes than any of his other recent videos. If you keyword search Supermega in the comments section, I mean, just fasten your seatbelt and keep your hands and legs inside the ride at all times. There are some absolutely crazy roasts in here. Now, I could use this video to talk about EthanIsOnline's involvement in the entire slander campaign against Supermega, how literally after Nick Is Not Green dropped his hit piece on Supermega, Ethan did a live stream watching their sub count fall in real time, collecting donations off of this entire hype train. But I saw a YouTube short of EthanIsOnline criticizing me with funk music in the background, and it was the worst thing I've probably ever seen on YouTube Shorts. And I'm channeling that feeling of cringe into a passion to make this video right now, because in light of that YouTube short and recent events, I decided to check out his channel again, and I've noticed some things about this guy that I just want to air out in this video for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, this will be one of those fun videos where I break it up into chapters, and yeah, enjoy. EthanIsOnline has a deleted video where he says it's okay to bully the physical appearance of a 15-year-old if that 15-year-old insults iDubbbz' wife. Now, this pathetic man deleted this video because it got so many dislikes after a YouTuber who he called out in the video, Diesel Patches, responded. Now, unfortunately, when this video came out, I didn't respond to it because I wasn't called out in the video. A lot of other YouTubers were. But I recently rewatched Diesel Patches' response to this video, and I have to say, I think people forget how bad Ethan's original video was.
You can tell Ian kind of lost his composure a bit. He's all fucking red-faced, and at one point in the video, he makes fun of a 15-year-old kid to defend his queen.
First of all, the crowd that is defending saying the N-word is mad about someone pointing out a 15-year-old's looks.
Yeah, dude, I'm part of this crowd that loves defending the N-word. That's definitely not just one big giant assumption. There's this perception that everyone from the old iDubbbz fanbase is sad because Ian doesn't say the N-word anymore, when in reality, most people don't give a shit and just think his current content is boring. That's the crowd I'm in.
I think that 15-year-old deserved it. He never should have brought up Ian's wife. That's fucking weird.
No, what's weird is getting butthurt by what a 15-year-old says that you display that kid's face in front of your millions of fans to be made fun of. That's actually the opposite of maturity and growing up. That's called being an insecure loser. If you're an adult and you have millions of followers online and some random minor nobody gets under your skin, then you need to log the fuck off and go outside.
Also, this point is so bad, it's unbelievable.
The crowd that is defending saying the N-word is mad about someone pointing out a 15-year-old's looks.
I think someone who would use slurs comedically is way less bad than somebody who would attack the physical appearance of a 15-year-old because they insulted a grown man's wife. I tried really hard finding the full deleted video, but I couldn't. And I think it's a double-edged sword that he did delete it, because on one hand, I think it's good that he realized how awful of a video it was that it had to just go down, but on the other hand, I doubt he did any actual reflection and merely just tried to save face. Okay, feast your eyes on the worst edit you've ever seen.
It doesn't matter if it's your video or Acheeto's video or Diesel Patches' video that autoplays Ben Shapiro, you all say the same NPC talking points, normie bullshit about fat people, about gay people, about trans people, and it fucking mirrors Ben Shapiro because that's where it comes from. And you don't challenge your attitudes, instead you act like people are hysterical and you say, you think I'm making some right-wing agenda. No, it's not your agenda. You're a normal guy who doesn't challenge his viewpoints, and you're ignorant.
So apparently if you make commentary videos, you have to challenge Ben Shapiro's viewpoints, because sometimes YouTube will autoplay Ben Shapiro's videos after commentary videos. And my response is, I don't have to do jack shit, buddy. Why would I ever be responsible for viewpoints that aren't my own? But also, very unsurprisingly, this guy's dead wrong. Unsurprisingly, the channels that my audience watches the most are also other commentary channels, not boomer politics news. I know this guy thinks Ben Shapiro is a literal terrorist, but I'm not gonna be your daddy and tell you what you can and can't watch on YouTube. Watch whoever, watch whatever you want. And I'm definitely not gonna hear this guy waffling about the chance that there might be like some people in my audience that watch Ben Shapiro and how that's like the worst thing ever. If your channel autoplays a video calling for the genocide of white people, am I gonna blame you for that? No, unless that's literally what you're saying.
Because you have a channel and you have people that fucking listen to you, and you won't actually challenge when people make videos about you. It's crazy.
The funk music is crazy too, because I heard that song, it's like a David Goggins edit, you know, an edit telling you to get up, go to the gym, who's gonna carry the boat, something like that, something motivational. And then you have this dweeb absolutely hijacking that culture to just whine for 30 seconds and be a Karen. Like, it's not cool. And this is a recurring thing for this guy. There's a lot of things that I think could be cool that he makes totally uncool. Some of you guys watching this video probably smoke pack, and I think honestly if you're being responsible, it's not the worst thing in the world. But I will say, pack culture has significantly declined, and I think this guy is a great representation as to why it's declined. I feel like smoking pack used to be a lot cooler. You know, you had like Snoop Dogg, you had all these rappers that are blowing pack. And obviously they're still around, but I feel like the culture's been largely hijacked by people like this. Now, I don't smoke, but the biggest turnoff to smoking to me would probably be seeing this guy and not any of the health effects that smoking pack would give you. This is your YouTube profile picture, bro. If you run an organization that is anti-pack, do us all a favor, stop saying things like, oh, smoking will make you die at a younger age, smoking will give you memory loss. Literally just like throw up a picture of this guy and then say there's a non-0% chance that you'll end up like this guy. Bro, I am quitting tomorrow. And he had to let you know twice, by the way, this is his second channel profile picture. Imagine smoking with your friend and he brings along this guy who you've never met, and you guys are passing the pack, and this knucklehead is just staring at you like, you want some? No, bro, I don't want some. Matter of fact, I think you're going home. It's amazing to me because you know he thinks he's being edgy. He has the pack lined up like a cross, and it's like, oh, burning cross, but it's pack. Double disrespect. He thinks he looks hard. He thinks he looks badass, but it's just like, you fail to look badass when you have several videos on your channel where you whine and get offended by stand-up comedians and throw tantrums if your mom doesn't cut the crust off your PB&J sandwiches. He does it in videos too, and I don't think I've ever seen someone smoking who looks this uncool.
Zoom in on this really quick. Zoom in on this. Oh, sorry. Can we get a close-up on that? Camera guy, are you seeing this?
Unrelated, in this video, he literally gets mad at some guy on Twitter for giving workout advice.
I've been trading for 7 years, but most of my results came in the past 6 months. The 4 things I started doing differently.
Look at his...
The first thing you need to do every morning, have your best friend suck on your nipples. It's not gay. It's just to make them erect for your first Instagram picture of the day.
Too small?
More back and leg workouts. Wow, that was pretty lame. People love their chest, bicep, and shoulder workouts, but you can't just do those. All right, fuck off.
Ethan has not been to the gym since like 400 AD. I'm not even dissing the guy. I mean, he got mad at someone for sharing workout advice. So mad for what, bro? The gym is where people improve themselves. They're not concentration camps. Maybe he just doesn't like that gyms have a no smoking policy. We'll give him benefit of the doubt and say that that's the reason he's not going.
Let's not even name it, right? Calling Acheeto a scammer. I don't know.
Well, I don't really want to talk about Acheeto right now. We're on here to talk about you.
Okay. Why did you... So the reason why you picked me over him to engage with is because you think I'm...
Well, I talked about you first, and I think that's fair. I've never talked about Acheeto. He came out of nowhere because he wanted clout, like he does with everyone else.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna bring Acheeto like in the surprise just to get you or anything.
That would just be annoying.
Yeah. Like if you want him in, I'll let him in. If you don't,
I don't want him in. He's weird.
Okay, I mean, I've known, I've talked to him quite often, and I don't.
That doesn't mean anything, man. Dude, trust me, I know some shit about fucking YouTubers.
What do you mean by that?
I want to start this video by letting all the people that are new to my channel know who this person is. This is EthanIsOnline, a commentary creator with 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. He, they pronouns.
Their feelings are transphobic and misogynistic. Fat person, blind person, racist propaganda. Balding losers, SJW and wokies, triggered and upset, empty-headed morons, racist and homophobic and transphobic shit. You're not very smart.
Now, I have a history with EthanIsOnline dating back to June 11th, 2022, when I released a video criticizing him called This YouTuber Can't Stop Lying. Now, since that video is almost a year old and new things have happened since that we have to get into, I'll quickly summarize what I mentioned in that video. On June 3rd, 2022, EthanIsOnline made a video called Conservative Reaction Videos Are Miserable. In this video, EthanIsOnline criticizes a content creator named Zeducation, where he tries to pretend that his problem with Zeducation is his content quality, but reveals throughout the video that he doesn't care about the quality of his content or how much effort he puts into it the way that he pretends to. His real issue with this content creator is his political views, as he goes on to criticize his political views over and over again.
Dude, of fucking course this balding loser is using clips from the Libs of TikTok account that has 7 likes.
Okay, so you would never do the same thing, basically.
I guess they don't realize petroleum is used in 30,000 items, including cell phones. That's right.
Oh my god, holy shit, owned. Am I right? You just dunked on some guy with 29 likes in the comment section, which would be fine if you didn't have a double standard for people who hold your own political views. You see, EthanIsOnline does not care if someone makes bad quality content if they share his political views, which I think is a gross double standard, rules for thee and not for me, and reveals that EthanIsOnline is a bad faith actor who is not interested in criticizing people for their practices, but rather their political opinions. I criticized EthanIsOnline for only caring about how transformative content is when it's people who he disagrees with. I cited Hassan Piker as somebody who constantly steals content and claims it as reaction content, but would not be having a video made on him by EthanIsOnline. After I uploaded this video, a few hours later, he left a comment on the video and then deleted it, so I don't remember what it says, but I do remember getting the notification on my phone at the time saying he left a comment. Doesn't matter for the backstory, just thought I'd include it. Moving on, October 24th, 2022, I made another video called He Still Can't Stop Lying. This was in response to another one of his dogshit videos, where this time, instead of going after a quote-unquote conservative reaction YouTuber, he goes after one of my friends, Sensitive Society, constructing arguments worse than the ones that he made against education, and he also goes a lot harder on Sensitive Society in this video, claiming that Sensitive Society's videos are radicalizing young boys into becoming like alt-right racists or something, and at this point, he's asking for the smoke. I mean, he's coming after people in my genre, people that I've collaborated with in the past, so you know, I had to just Oppenheimer him real quick with this video, getting a little 226k views, nothing too serious. Then, 2 months later, in December of 2022, EthanIsOnline was doing a live stream where he was watching more of Sensitive Society's content, and Sensitive Society brought me up in one of his videos that EthanIsOnline was watching, and Ethan said this about me.
Acheeto made a video on her yesterday.
He's made like 6 videos about Queer Kiwi, and he's a huge, gargantuan piece of shit. Acheeto is a fucking worm, dude. Acheeto is a fucking worm, dude.
Need I say more shit?
Now, since then, Sensitive Society and EthanIsOnline had a debate where they discussed a lot of the different things that EthanIsOnline was criticizing him for, and during this debate, Sensitive Society asked if I could hop on the call and ask Ethan some questions because Ethan has talked about me before, as you've seen in that clip, and as I mentioned earlier with the deleted comments. So if he's willing to talk to Sensitive Society, who he's criticized, surely he'd be willing to talk to me, who he's also criticized. Well, no, when I try to go on the debate, this is what happened.
But not Acheeto, for example.
Oh, I think Acheeto is just like a scammer. I think he's like a fraud. I think he's like a fake guy. I think you're like a real guy. You know what I mean?
Kind of. Like, it's a scammer in what way? Like,
I don't really want to talk about Acheeto. I want to talk about you. I feel like you want to make it about something other than you because you're a little insecure right now. Are you feeling okay?
Hour and a half, and I've answered pretty much everything you wanted to.
Not really, though.
I mean,
I really don't feel like you've considered anything I've said that much.
Okay. I mean, let's not even name it, right? Calling Acheeto a scammer, I don't know.
Well, I don't really want to talk about Acheeto right now. We're on here to talk about you.
Okay. Why did you? So the reason why you picked me over him to engage with is because you think I'm
Well, I talked about you first, and I think that's fair. I've never talked about Acheeto. He came out of nowhere because he wanted clout, like he does with everyone else. And you responded in a way that I found was really interesting.
So what does he do? He lies, says he's never talked about me, which I disproved literally 30 seconds ago, calls me a scammer, which is like borderline slanderous. Accusing me of scamming people is like disgusting, which is funny I say the word slander because he was also heavily involved in the slander campaign against Supermega, which we're gonna get into later, and then says that I'm a fake guy. Well, I don't know how I'm a fake guy. I'm a real human being, and this is me proving that I'm not a fake guy. I'm not an AI generated human. Now, I decided not to make a video responding to what he had said about me in the debate with Sensitive Society because I felt like honestly there's not much to respond to there. But a few weeks ago, he was involved in, like I said earlier, a massive slander campaign against Supermega, and I released a video called People Are Realizing That EthanIsOnline is Bad, as throughout this entire situation, as bigger YouTubers like Turkey Tom have covered this entire slander campaign, tides have turned. EthanIsOnline is getting massive backlash for this entire thing, and now we're at present day. For some reason, out of nowhere, EthanIsOnline decided to send a DM to Sensitive Society on Twitter, which Sensitive Society posted to his Twitter account, and the DM reads the following: "What's up, bitch? Sounds like you have a lot to say about me online. You want to talk again? If not, get my out of your mouth and make some real content." Now this is instantly funny because the only reason EthanIsOnline and Sensitive Society have ever interacted is because EthanIsOnline uploaded a 40-minute video to his channel talking about why he believes Sensitive Society's content is turning kids into little Nazis. So for Ethan to DM him and be like, "Oh, sounds like you have a lot of shit you want to say," like, brother, you started this whole thing. What do you mean? You have shit to say. You packed your bags and took your car, drove it to Yappersville for 40 minutes while you talked about this guy. So Sensitive Society tweets, "Someone is mad," with the screenshot of the DM he received. Ethan responds by saying, "Lamau, couldn't respond before getting your dick riders and creepy little buddies to tell you what to say. LMAO." And he goes, "Why are you being mean towards me? I thought we were friends. WTF? Because you're a bad person, Oscar. I was too nice when we talked before and you literally clip-chipped me for months. Ha 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 ha. I thought you were cool with bullying. I never said I was cool with bullying. WTF? That's insane. Of course not. I only put out positivity loves, hugs, not bullets. Are you okay, Ethan? Are you on something at the moment? I'm mad at you because you talk out of your ass nonstop. So you can't actually address what I'm saying, and you just go back to posting cringe instead. Back up what you actually think, and then post about it, bitch." Then Sensitive Society, he taps me on the shoulder basically and gets me into this thing. He ropes me in, so he goes, "It feels like you're having a manic episode right now, Ethan. I'm concerned for you. At Acheeto, what do you think?" And he goes, "LMAO again, you can't defend yourself, so you'd call him the bitch squad. If you have shit to say it, MF." "Bro, why are you scared of Acheeto, skull emoji? You always run away when I bring him up." "Who said I'm running away? I don't give a shit about irrelevant freaks I've never talked to. I'm talking to you, but you clearly have nothing to say." Okay. Fair play, fair play. Well, as you saw earlier, I was tagged in a tweet and just got called an irrelevant freak, so it's my time to jump in. So I started off by saying, "My video hating on you has more views than 50% of your own content in the past 2 months. If I'm irrelevant, what does that make you?" And that's true. If you go and check the video I did 4 weeks ago, it has 108,000 views. And if you check his channel, over the past 2 months, out of the 8 videos he's posted, my video has more views than half of them. So he called me irrelevant, and I'm scratching my head pondering if I'm irrelevant as someone who has 400,000 subscribers while he has 250K, and a video I posted 4 weeks ago has more views than half the content he's done in the past 2 months. Seriously, if I'm irrelevant, what does that make you? If I'm irrelevant and nobody knows who I am, you have negative relevance. Like, your shadow doesn't even associate with you. When you go to look yourself in the mirror, you become transparent and see right through yourself. It's only your background. You're not even there. Team Snapchat isn't even sending you happy birthdays. You can't unlock your phone with Face ID because your camera don't even know you, little bro. You're irrelevant. It is actually hilarious that this guy would dare to call me irrelevant considering what he's doing right now. He responds to my tweet by saying, "I haven't posted in 2 months, so the past 2 months is a bad metric, lol." No, actually, it's a better metric because you've had more time for your videos to get views than mine. If my video gets more views than your video did in 2 months, that's actually worse for you. That means not only am I getting more views than you, I'm getting more views than you in a shorter span of time. But let's pretend his logic makes sense, like if he was uploading consistently, he'd be doing better than me. You not uploading isn't an excuse. Like, if you think that you could do better than me by uploading, then upload. Like, if you're so sure that you could be doing crazy views better than mine on a consistent basis if you just uploaded, then get out of bed, get in front of a camera, and make your slop dog wash content. Oh yeah, you see, you're doing better than me because I haven't uploaded, so it's not really a fair comparison. No, actually, you have the full ability as a human being to make YouTube videos, and so do I, but the difference is I'm actually outperforming you because I'm doing the work. Like, your excuse for not doing as good as me is because you're not working. Like, yeah, so work. So he responds to himself by saying, "Outed yourself as being obsessed with hating me so much you couldn't even check what you were saying, bahaha, okay, lil bro." And I said, "So make a video, stop being a lazy chump. You called me irrelevant, and when I showed proof that I'm outperforming you, you said that you haven't posted. That's pure cope." He goes, I haven't posted because freaks have been harassing my partner based on complete lies and no evidence. I'm responsible enough to not make money in order to mitigate that as much as possible. You demanding I make a video to measure dicks is bizarre and embarrassing. I respond by saying, you're the one who brought up relevance, aka dick size. I had to put you in your place real quick. I don't care if you never upload again, but if you're gonna call me irrelevant, you better be BTFOing me view-wise. Dude, I never said I was relevant. You immediately jumped to comparing us because you're insecure. You're just as irrelevant as any other YouTuber. Calm down. No, you see, he's right. I'm not relevant. Like, I'm not a relevant YouTuber, but I'm just saying, like, he can't be the one to say that. You can't sit there and be like, oh, you're irrelevant. Bro, you can't be talking down when you're below me. That's just not how that works. If and when you're above me, you can talk down, but not right now, lil bro. Sit your ass down. But he started this whole thing calling me an irrelevant freak, and now he's gonna complain like, oh yeah, we're comparing sizes. Like, you did that. You started that. I compared us because you called me irrelevant. If you're gonna roast me, I'm gonna clap back. This is basic shit, lol. Ethan says, I called you irrelevant and you took it personally instead of in context to what I was saying like a baby does. Quote, you took it personally. You called me an irrelevant freak. Yeah, obviously I'm gonna take that personally, and you wanted me to. That's why you said it in the first place. Sorry I hurt your feelings, man. I didn't mean to make you post your YouTube analytics for no reason. No, I'm sorry for you. It must be horrible not being able to make YouTube videos because of the drama shitstorm that you and Nick caused, having your reputation perma-ruined with a low chance of comeback. You should go smoke right now to escape your problems and relax. Must be stressful arguing on Twitter. It's not stressful to argue with you, Acheeto, LMAO. I don't know though, I'm not the one who covered up essay, lied about it, or distorted the story or left out facts to fit a narrative like many drama channels have, but I guess you want to cancel me anyway. I love the audacity of him to claim that drama channels are pushing a narrative while the entire drama shitstorm that he's involved in is because him and Nick decided to run an op slander campaign on Supermega. It's like the quote-unquote narrative that's being pushed by drama channels is simply the fact that you had a narrative against Supermega. And it's so funny, he ends it off by saying, oh, you guys want to cancel me. Bro, because you try to falsely cancel somebody else. You try to ruin these people's lives. This is your fucking karma, buddy. How is your victim complex so built up to the point where you literally conspire with one of your friends who's a big YouTuber to make these hit pieces on Supermega with loads of misinformation in them, and now you're the victim? Because people called you out on this? Okay. The chickens have come home to roost, and you are literally getting the pushback that you deserve. And I said, don't hate the player, hate the game. I don't know. Keep seething, though. This is gonna be a nice fat 20-minuter with abundant mid-rolls. And he goes, Lamau, about how you got yelled at on Twitter by someone you keep making videos about? What point are you trying to make with that? You've been a lol cow on my channel for over a year, and now you're spurging having a mental breakdown on my Twitter timeline, and you think I'm not gonna cover this? You started this. You called me an irrelevant freak on Twitter. I wasn't even gonna get involved in the sensitive society thread until you mentioned me. You've called me so many things. You called me a scammer, you called me a gargantuan piece of shit, a worm, and now you're calling me an irrelevant freak, and you expect me as a person with a YouTube channel to not cover this? Well, first of all, it's December, you know, the Christmas ads this time of year on YouTube go crazy, and I want to make some extra money to spend on Christmas gifts for the fam and friends. I said, get your money up, not your funny up, that's my point. I literally got you to respond to my tweets like 7 different times. You took the bait and I will milk you so I can buy nice Christmas gifts for the friends and fam. And he goes, so this thread is you getting your feelings hurt, you getting salty about it, bitching at me and then saying I'm not mad, I'm gonna make money off of it. I haven't made a single cent off my partner's essay. You unfortunately cannot say the same. Enjoy your Christmas presents. I don't know what you think I've done, Ethan, but I've only talked about what you've talked about. You and Nick is not green, the narrative that you pushed. I've criticized your narrative. I haven't made a quote-unquote cent off your partner's essay. In the same way that all of my videos about you are a response to the videos you've made about other people. Like every single time you make a video, whether that's on education, sensitive society, or you make a live stream about Supermega, and I've responded to the points that you've made in these videos, it's literally just that. It's me responding to the stupid things that come out of your mouth. You send shots at other creators that I know, and then I respond calling you out for doing this, and then you have the audacity to claim that you're being canceled. It's insane. The thing is too, like Ethan is Online's very old content, like videos he's made in 2017 are of the same formula that he uses now where he criticizes other people, but he actually does it properly. In 2017, Ethan made a video on Onision called Onision the Layered Loser. It's about 11 minutes, it's a good video, and is a lot better in the quality of the talking points than anything he puts out today.
You're right, he's not afraid to say anything on the internet. He's bold, he's edgy, he's cunning.
I hear this argument a lot in defense of Onision, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. There are plenty of people not afraid to speak their minds on the internet, and most of them are assholes. But that's okay. I like being an asshole. But the difference between your average Joe asshole and Onision is Onision pretends to be a good guy.
Now, 5 years and 100 pounds later, we have this content where he's just calling everyone he disagrees with transphobic, racist, alt-right, pipeline, radicalization. Like, dude, does it not get tiresome?
Obviously, being fat is not a fucking choice. Their feelings are transphobic and misogynistic. Fat person, blind person, racist propaganda.
Balding loser, SJW and wokies, triggered and upset, empty-headed morons, racist and homophobic and transphobic shit.
You're not very smart. I really don't care that much.
After posting that meme of Ethan's face earlier, he asked Sensitive Society to post his face right now, to where Ethan got responded to with a meme saying, "Oh, you're posting on an alt? Why don't you use your real photo and name so I can call your employer and get you fired for disagreeing with my retarded worldviews?" The thing is too, it's like Sensitive Society posts a picture of himself and no matter what happens, you find something to make fun of, right? He posts a selfie where there's nothing wrong and all of a sudden you have beef with the sky in the background or something else. Like, what? If he doesn't respond, you call him a coward and say he's scared, but if he does respond, you find something, no matter how fine the picture is, to make fun of. Whatever, Sensitive Society didn't end up responding, and I think that meme is pretty funny, so checkmate. It seems like Ethan is Online is going to genuinely have a hard time recovering his channel, not only from the lull in views that he's having right now, the low purity he's having in just performance, but also his reputation is in the gutter right now. His involvement in this slander campaign, which I highly recommend you would go watch Turkey Tom videos on this thing. He covers it in so much grand detail, which on top of that, you have these mental breakdowns on Twitter, which you know is going to fuel a video like this. And as I'm typing on Twitter telling you that that's what's about to happen and what you're contributing to right now, not only do you not stop, you give me more stuff to put in the video, quite literally giving me more runtime so I can make more money off your downfall. And it's not just me. Sensitive Society just dropped his video, Ethan is Online keeps taking L's. It's 11 minutes, and I mean, here's just some footage from that video.
This guy doesn't leave me alone. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to send him a little message, I guess. Well, let's see.
What's up, bitch? Sounds like you have a lot to say about me online. You want to talk again? If not, get my dick out of your mouth and go make some real content.
And send. Mess with the dog, you get the bite.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna cap. This is one of the one of the weirdest things I have ever been part of, and I've been a content creator for like 35 years. You're confirming what I said. If you hate me, why the F are you watching my videos that doesn't even have you in the title or thumbnail, yet you watch them enough to the point where you get to the part where I talk about you for like 30 seconds? Yeah, totally normal behavior. I completely forgot you existed till now. Damn, my mouth's getting kind of dry. I'm out here talking so much. You're just embarrassed I'm calling you out and you're hiding under the covers and acting like you have amnesia baby ass, and once again calling me the B word. Then I tweeted this: I can't believe this is the MF I'm beefing with. And then this fucking picture, I don't know who photoshopped this picture, but this is one of the funniest pictures I have ever seen. Then I also tweeted, this is the same guy who claims he's not obsessed with me. He straight up admitted to hate watching my videos. This dude is legit unhinged. I think I might have to file a restraining order.
Anyway, I think that's for the most part it for this video. This one's definitely a bit of a longer one, but I also have to make a point by getting it to 20 minutes. It's more about sending a message at this point, being a man of my word. I said I'd do a 20-minuter with abundant mid-rolls, and I fully intend on doing so. You can say that's petty for sure, but I'm simply reciprocating the pettiness that emanates from every single one of his videos. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike, and I'll be seeing you guys all in the next one. See ya. I need a max win, I need a big hit. I can't get over, why do they lie so much? Dressed up in dog costumes. Like, isn't it true that, like, jail can make you gay? You can't say this is inappropriate, that language is not appropriate. But first, this video is brought to you by the FlexiSpot E7 Pro Standing Desk. You might be wondering right now, why do I even need a standing desk? Well, buddy, let's just do a quick posture check. If you're sitting down in your chair right now, you're probably sitting like a shrimp. Working from a standing desk will drastically improve your posture. It can give you that productivity/energy boost that you need, and even eliminate back pain. With FlexiSpot's preset height options, switching between sitting and standing is effortless. Experience the benefits of a standing up desk brought to you all by FlexiSpot at a reasonable price. The E7 is incredibly sturdy and passes the wobble test. You're not going to be having any spills. It is so sturdy, in fact, that it can hold up to 355 pounds. We got a real human being on this desk as it moves up and down. FlexiSpot provides all kinds of standing desks to meet your demands. If you want a premium standing desk for daily use, you can check out their E7 and E7 Pro C-frames. If you are on a limited budget, you can use their E5 model. Unlock more savings by using the exclusive promo code provided in the description. Click the FlexiSpot link to enjoy these fantastic discounts. But don't miss the FlexiSpot President's Day flash sale. Use my exclusive code Acheeto for an extra $30 off the E7 and E7 Pro. For the new arrival E7 Plus, use code Acheeto for an extra $50 off. Trust me, it's a rare treat. Don't miss out on designing your dream setup with FlexiSpot. How bad research radicalizes people by think before you sleep, and it's reacting to EthanIsOnline.
I wanted to take the opportunity to make a video about something that's
Nice shirt, bro. The oat milk shirt. Ooh. You know, one thing that the left needs to start doing is, like, taking care of their bodies and presenting better. Because once you look better, people just take you more seriously. Now, I'm not saying that I look, you know, like a fucking supermodel or anything. It's kind of like it's the fat trainer paradox, you know? Your fat personal trainer, are you really going to trust him to give you good advice? Are you going to trust a person who looks like they haven't been outside in forever to tell you about how society should be structured? I don't know. It's just a sort of a general test that I do. If you look like you don't participate in society or you don't go outside, I just don't really want to hear what you have to say about the outside world. You're a supermodel to me, let's get married. Okay, well, thank you for the $5, I'll take it.
Be pretty frustrated lately. This is a video essay about the groomer narrative. The word groomer has lost all meaning because conservatives won't stop saying it to cartoons. It's basically just a buzzword for homophobes to signal how much they think about children.
Didn't we just go over the whole Vosh thing where he's used Nazi to the point where it has no meaning? So it's like, I mean, let's just keep it a buck. Both sides do this shit where they cling onto a word and they kind of just milk it till it's dry. Like, the right uses woke too much, the left uses Nazi too much, or they say MAGA extremists or alt-right. Both sides do this, okay? So this is not like a uniquely right-wing thing. It's like keyword maxing. Dude, I gotta say, one thing I love about Think Before You Sleep's videos is he has like these beautiful images that he talks over instead of gameplay. It's like so cool.
I don't think I've ever rolled my eyes at something before as hard as I just did at that last statement. Wanting to keep children from viewing explicit content makes you a child abuser? Did Hassan write this video? Because that sounds like a take he would have. Wait, Hassan can't write. But at the very least, this guy definitely scripted his video when he was high. Well, anyway, for the past few weeks, I've been going down the groomer denial rabbit hole because of this video that I made here. During this time, I've watched many people who rightfully say that child beauty pageants and child marriage are wrong, yet they'll completely deny the sexually explicit behavior that occurs at family-friendly drag shows. So when it comes to owning the cons on weird stuff like child marriage, though I haven't seen any mainstream conservatives support that.
Where is this in the world? That's so beautiful.
Though I haven't
Holy f, man. Oh, so beautiful.
Seen any mainstream conservatives support that. Creators like this guy, Ethan, are all for it. But when someone points out, hey, they're hosting stripper dances at bars for kids with performers who go by names like Loose in the Behind, then it's, well,
bro,
that doesn't
what
happen,
the
and you're for talking about it.
Children are generally not present at drag shows hosted in bars.
Generally, kids should never go to drag shows and bars, especially
yeah, generally doesn't really help you.
Bars with signs that say, it's not going to lick itself. This should not.
Jesus Christ. Bro, this is so fucking disgusting. It's just with the, like, why is the left like this?
How do we even live in a world where this isn't something that everyone agrees on?
Kitty Demure is a drag performer, and she joins me now. So, Kitty, you don't perform in front of children, do you?
No, nor would I. If I was performing for an audience and I saw a child, I would walk out.
Yeah, I don't see why that isn't a common take. I don't see why these guys aren't mortified when they see kids in the audience. This is just as bad as when
Yeah, like genuinely, I don't understand. Like if you're the whatever drag show or drag queen or what do they call them? Drag performers. If you're one of those people and you look in front of you and you see a child, how do you not like stop in your steps and literally just like, what the f, you know? It's mostly stuff though. Exactly. So if you're doing a simple dance, which you're allowed to do, and you see there's a child watching you do it, you stop. Acheeto, as someone with a lot of left-leaning views, this shit disgusts me. Yeah, well the thing is like that's the problem. Is it's like this shit is so bad that it takes like a lot of, because honestly there's plenty of good ideas on the left, or ideas that I think are definitely worth entertaining, because they wouldn't exist and they wouldn't be popular if they were all ridiculous. But then there's shit like this that's like, no thanks, you can keep the rest of it. It's like, imagine giving someone a basket of cookies, but like 3 of the cookies are made of shit. You're just not gonna take the basket of cookies. In my opinion, the left has some good economic takes. And you know, I think taxing is so fucked. Like, if I was to be a single issue voter, one of the ones I think I would care the most about is taxes. Because I'm 20 years old and I get taxed so much money. All the money that I make, dude, I'm not gonna get into it, but I paid so much fucking money in taxes in 2023, and all of it just went to fucking Ukraine. All of it went to like food stamps and I didn't see the benefits of my tax money. I mean, not to say that I would be cool with it if it went to somewhere I liked better, but like it would be because if you can't control whether or not you get taxed, right? You at least want to see it go somewhere like within the, well, for starters, within the country, but you know, somewhere that you can see it reflecting better in your life.
When idiot parents bring their 6-year-old children to concerts that clearly aren't child-friendly.
So why do these drag queens keep foisting these performances on children?
Well, a lot of the performers, I can only speak for the performers, a lot of them are just like low-level wage workers. If you notice, some of them aren't the most beautiful, the most talented. They're typically from a local club or dive bar.
That's hilarious. He just said it was a skill issue. I mean, it makes sense, especially considering that there are things like a ton of women having no problem marketing adult content to kids on Twitch because they can't compete with more skilled e-girls on adult platforms. And of course, I have yet to see creators such as the main subject of this video, EthanIsOnline, actually discuss the material that conservatives or Twitter accounts like Gays Against Groomers are mad about. This is despite the fact that Ethan actually does show clips like this during a whole compilation of his enemies discussing the issue, who are very clearly
So I'm gonna assume he just does not address it. It's crazy. He literally shows the clips. It's like, hey, this is the grooming. And then what is he just ignore it? Unbelievable.
Appropriate sexual environments that kids have been put in, or sexually explicit material in books like Genderqueer being available to minors in school libraries. It's not merely about children being exposed to gay people, but does he talk about any of this stuff? No, he just calls conservatives bigots who hate LGBT people with no actual evidence of that, and moves on. He does, however, give us a history lesson.
It's 1977, the same year Star Wars first premieres in theaters. But 1977 is also the same year the Save Our Children Coalition was formed. Thanks to the efforts to save our children, laws protecting gay people from discrimination and protecting their rights to housing and public services were stripped all over the country in the late 70s. This exact thing happened in Minnesota, and overnight, gay people were allowed to be rejected from job applications and housing applications.
Yeah, thank you, Octonotes, for the $5. Watching you with 102-degree fever. Love your streams. Dude, fucking feel better, dude. I want you to follow these instructions, okay? Do a salt gargle if it's your throat. You're gonna bundle up, and you're gonna just sleep. But follow sleep to this video.
Just because they were gay.
Yes, that all sucks. It was not very fun to be a
Do you guys want to see my wallpaper?
gay person before like the year 2000. Interesting that he shows a clip of Joe Biden here, a man who has opposed gay rights for most of his political career.
The Defense of Marriage Act. We've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that.
That was from 2006. I actually can't find any evidence that him or Obama supported gay marriage until their second term. They definitely didn't support it when they took office, and they only flipped in support of it when it was politically convenient. Very brave. But I'm not sure how Ethan's history...
I don't make beats on FL Studio. I've been rapping. Bro, I want to make a song. I'll do a quick... I don't want to divert the stream, but like, I want to show you something I'm working on. Listen to this shit.
I need a max win. I need a big hit. Put 10K on poker chips. Now I'm really hoping that the parlay hits. 6 legs and I need like 6 hits. Yeah, like 10 grand. I don't think you understand. I got a big plan. Making money and
Are gay people being denied housing in the current year? No? Then this point is irrelevant, and it's not what conservatives and non-woke people are talking about. No one is trying to stop gay people from buying a house in the current year. How about talking about what people actually have a problem with, which is children being exposed to sexualized content? No? Instead, he says this.
In 2023, any fucking freak bozo, no matter who they are, can pop up on your YouTube screen and talk about how fucking trans people are bad and buy my t-shirt that says trans people are bad. And now we can start talking about really creepy shit about children now because we're talking about trans people. Conservatives just...
Why does he talk like that?
You know, they have children on their mind all the time. You can't blame them talking about children every chance they get.
God, what? This guy's insufferable. You know what he's like? He's like if the average viewer in Hassan's Twitch chat made a YouTube channel and it got a decent amount of subs. The typical Hassan strategy of deflecting and dodging the actual issues while calling your opponents stupid pedos is very present in Ethan's videos.
But I need a max win.
Let's get to the part where he destroys the conservatives Ben Shapiro style.
The groomer narrative is a weapon, and it's propagated by grifters and useful idiots from all over media. And while the groomer narrative may be powerful as a propaganda tool, it's not very sound. But yeah, sure, let's say that there is any sort of legitimacy behind the idea that gay people are grooming kids. Not that there's any fucking study to support that ever, but, you know, if that's the narrative we're going with, we're gonna have to talk some facts and logic.
Thanks for the burp,
if you're a conservative
fat ass.
watching, this is the part where you're gonna turn off the video. I know you guys aren't really huge on facts and logic, so...
Alright, Ethan, I'm ready for it. Give me the facts and logic. Own those Daily Wire subscribers with your research skills.
The source that I found on this is a UCLA Williams Institute study on demographics of people in sex offender registries.
Joanna, you're going to jail, bro.
So, right from the top, basics. 80% of the people in this registry are straight. I think we're done.
Got him, buddy. 80% of the people on the sex offender registry are straight. Overall, straight people commit more sex crimes than LGBT people. The cons got owned hard here. Thanks, Ethan, for your wit. We can all go home now. Or so you would think if you didn't actually read the study. Good God, why don't these people read the studies that they use? Well, outside of the fact that the whole reason he brought this study up is pure whataboutism, let me remind you that he's not actually responding to any of the points that conservatives and anti-woke people are making on this issue. But don't worry, Ethan, because I read the study for you. So we look at this table, and we can see that 80% of the people on the registry from the study are straight, and 20% of them are LGBT. Does anyone see an issue with those numbers? I feel like any person with more than 5 seconds of research experience would be able to point out that there isn't a 50-50 split between LGBT people and straight people in America. Gay people are a minority, and people like Ethan should know that because they never stop mentioning it. Current day estimates on the high end put LGBT people at 7% of America, which means that according to this study, LGBT people commit sex crimes at roughly 3 times the rate of straight people.
We got him. Where's that fucking Drewski clip?
Got him. We fucking got him.
Great job, Ethan. With friends like you helping out the LGBT crowd, who needs enemies? Now, his interpretation could have been a simple mistake, so let's say Ethan is not very good at math, which might make you question where he gets the audacity to quote research. But let's say he can't do math. Even if that's the case, in one of the paragraphs directly above the table that he read off of, it says, the proportion of LGBT people in our sample is almost 4 times that of a recent national estimate of LGBT identification among adults in the United States. To be clear, the percent identification at the time of the study was 5.6%. But they straight up give him the
Ethan
answer,
needs to start
and he
mewing.
still screws up.
There is no evidence that queer people are grooming kids into becoming gay, or really are harming children at a disproportional rate at all. It's just not there.
Yeah, there's no evidence of LGBT people harming children at a disproportional rate, except for the research that you just showed. I mean, I haven't seen a fumble this bad with research since I did the video on Noah Samson, where he cited a bunch of studies that you could easily see were arguing against the points he was making if you just read more than one sentence outside of the abstract. And then he tried to cover that up in a follow-up video after I pointed out how bad at research he was.
Noah Samson, friend of the show, good buddy of mine. Yeah, he has a good mustache.
Of course they're friends. Birds of a feather flock together. Ethan also is or was best friends with Nick Is Not Green, and participated in the false allegations and slander of Supermega. I'm not going to explain that whole thing, but if you are aware of the drama, then it's very telling of what kind of person Ethan is. Though if you do want the full context, then Turkey Tom did a video on the whole situation. Not to mention that Ethan will flip out if people criticize the fat acceptance movement and call people bigots for telling others to take care of their health. So he gets offended when people point out that obesity is a thing that people can control. Yet Ethan thinks it's perfectly fine to make fun of multiple creators who are bald or balding, which really can't be controlled.
His hairline.
Dude, that reminds me of that clip. It's like body shaming's bad until it's about the weight. You've seen that, right? Yeah, it's literally like this.
Watch this dude call out a girl's hilarious double standard when it comes to body shaming.
That's tougher to say, isn't it?
You know what? Your mouth kind of reminds me of like a person from Whoville.
That's
Because
fine.
you like lip is not there.
Well, I can't help that.
No, I know you can't. It's just like
Body
Whoville-esque.
shaming's fine until it's all about the weight, right? Goodness, here come the comments.
Also, I'm like, what are we talking about hairline for? I mean, my hairline is a little... Yeah, I got a big forehead.
Also, if he takes his beanie off too,
At least I'm not fat.
To take his beanie off.
If I described to you a balding white man with a podcast who peaked in high school, you'd probably be able to perfectly capture exactly what this man looks like.
That's really funny when it comes from a guy who obviously doesn't take care of his health, a guy who dresses like he still lives with his parents, and a guy who constantly brags about smoking weed despite having asthma.
Also, I have asthma, and a lot of like heavier people do as well.
Maybe put that vape pen down for a minute and give your lungs a break. Certainly nobody should be listening to this guy on any topics that involve health, nor should they be listening to him on topics that require research, because that error that I talked about isn't the only fumble that Ethan made. Now,
That's
I will
hilarious.
apologize that you'll have to pay close attention, because he goes through these next couple of things quickly.
Wow. Did someone just say they could write the Quran on my forehead?
And it's easy to miss what he's saying.
Queer people are more likely to be incarcerated. 84% of queer sex offenders have been to prison or jail.
He said,
ain't the whole meme that like, don't drop the soap? Because like, isn't it true that like jail can make you gay? Isn't that like a totally confirmed thing? Like I swear I saw a study on this. Well, I mean, if you think about it too, I mean, this is a live stream. I'm not gonna pull up some fucking study, but oh, we do have a study here. Okay, Hensley. Hensley recently authored a study that he said is one of the first to examine a shift in sexual orientation in prisons. A sample of 142 prisoners, 24 of them said their sexual orientation changed while incarcerated. All right, so there you go.
Added up the values in the prison and jail only
I was
column,
just looking at the data there.
and the LGBT numbers were higher than the numbers for straight people. So his narrative is that LGBT people are experiencing unfair discrimination because they go to jail more often for sex crimes and serve longer sentences, which means they're being oppressed. Unfortunately, Ethan, you can't determine that by just looking at the numbers, because LGBT people might be going to jail or prison more often because they commit more crimes or more severe crimes. People don't always go to jail on their first offense. Where's your evidence that these LGBT sex offenders are being unjustly incarcerated by a more biased court system? Because personally, I don't see any. Ethan is just seeing a disparity and assuming it's because of oppression. Now, if only this study included some sort of information about the crimes being committed that would let us know if oppression was actually occurring. Oh wait, it does. It turns out that LGBT people go to prison more often because they abuse more people. There's more numbers that he gave on prison statistics, but the disparities aren't—
Damn. So it looks like LGBT sex offenders are twice as likely to do it 3 or more times than a straight person is.
because they abuse more people. There's more numbers that he gave on prison statistics, but the disparities aren't that big, and they can easily be explained
Dude, this
away when
statistic
you
is
account for the number of
homophobic.
crimes committed. But wow, it's this kind of lazy research that makes titles like "Lazy Content is Radicalizing People" extremely ironic. Yes, when you're too lazy to actually look at the numbers and use critical thinking skills, you will radicalize people into believing there's unfair discrimination when there's actually not. What a crowd of people to run the oppression narrative on, by the way. A bunch of child abusers. Most of these crimes, LGBT or straight, are sex crimes against minors. But we aren't done. We have one more galaxy brain take from Ethan here on this study.
Keep in mind, these straight people that are getting shorter sentences or sometimes not seeing jail at all are doing more sexual assault of minors, indecent exposure, more molestation, more illegal recording, and more solicitation, which would cover grooming.
Holy crap, I can't believe there's someone who is worse at research than Noah Samson. He's like, straight people have a higher percentage of solicitation than gay people. The numbers are 8% and 7.8%. Are you kidding? Do you guys remember when Noah Samson tried to gaslight everyone when I pointed out that men play video games 20% more than women do? And he's like, 20% more is not even that big of a deal. It's just 15 minutes a day. If that's true, then women making 20% less money in the workplace than men shouldn't be that big of a deal, right? Anyway, Noah's friend here is talking about a 2.5% difference and trying to make it look like the Grand Canyon. Yes, the math is correct on that. It's a 2.5% difference between 8 and 7.8. Considering that only 1,000 people were studied here, With a difference that small, you could have easily closed the gap by surveying more people or by surveying a different group of people. I'm going to throw out the data point on voyeurism because it doesn't happen that often on either end, but look at these categories. Almost the same number in every one, and if we're adjusting for population size, you have to note that LGBT people are committing these crimes at almost 4 times the rate. Interesting that Ethan said nothing about the category that LGBT people were higher in, which was owning, manufacturing, or distributing sexually explicit material of minors.
Vosh moment.
He couldn't have missed it. It's the first category on the list.
Yeah, he chose to not report this one.
Why make this big deal about how conservatives don't like to look at facts and data?
Oh, dude.
And then leave out the biggest percentage gap on the charts. This guy was making a mountain out of a 0.2% difference when there's a 6% difference on the first data point. I mean, this makes you look really dishonest and really unwilling to levy
Holy
any
fuck,
nuance
dude.
or
He's
information
destroying
that makes your
him.
side look bad. Stuff like that is what radicalizes people. Now, surely he doesn't mess up more, right? Actually, he does.
Let's talk about John Roach. John Roach was a Catholic archbishop in the Twin Cities from the 70s until the 90s. Listen, I know I said Catholic, and yes, it's exactly what you think. It is pretty extensively documented how much of a pedophile defender Archbishop John Roach was. It's no news that the Catholic Church is full of creepy freaks. We already know. Everyone knows.
But this motherfucker ignores the fact that there's a 6% more likely chance that an LGBT person distributes CP. And is that even adjusting for population size? So what even is that? Like, how much more likely is that? I don't know. Someone do the math on that.
But all these conservatives all say the same shit about gay people. And listen, if you're friends with pedophiles and you say the same stuff as pedophiles, I don't know if you're all that good of a guy. I don't know.
This one's going to be embarrassing. Ethan throws a lot of shade at the Catholic Church for sex scandals in the past.
Dude, I love the fucking scenery in these videos. All of these are like, this pic goes hard, feel free to screenshot. It's like some beautiful scenery. Where does he find these? I'm asking him.
Rightfully so, because some of the people in the Catholic Church...
Oh, Google. Oh, fucking, we got a smart guy in here.
Here's where it gets good. Ethan uses that creepy Catholic Church argument to suggest that conservatives are a bunch of child abusers. So I did some research and found that according to Pew data, half of all Catholics are Democrat. Here's an older study from 2014 where it shows that more Catholics identify as Democrat than they identify as Republican.
All he had to do was a single Google search with some relevant terms to find this survey. It took me 10 seconds. It's really not that much work, but he didn't do it.
It literally only took me a minute of research to find this data. I mean, it's fine to be bad at research, but if you're going to fail this hard, then being less arrogant would be a much better decision when it comes to optics.
Why are all the pedophiles hiding with the conservatives?
I'll just leave this Jeffrey Epstein article here. Also, since he made such a sweeping statement, all I have to do is find a single example to disprove him. His name is Jerry, and he got a 12-year sentence for soliciting photos from minors and sexual assault. Actually, considering that he used one example from 30 years ago of one person being protected by the Catholic Church, and I technically provided 2 examples, in an Ethan-like fashion, I'm going to declare myself as the winner. At least my examples were recent and not like, in 1872, a possible Republican abused a child, therefore all Republicans are child abusers. On top of that, he actually gave more examples of children at drag shows than he gave of possible conservatives being child abusers. I've never seen a content creator take so many L's in my life. Let's go over one last thing.
Even though there's no evidence to support that you can turn someone else gay, much less a child. But yeah, sure, let's say that there is any sort of legitimacy behind the idea that gay people are grooming kids. Not that there's any fucking study to support that ever, but, you know.
Except the one that he ignored in the first place. The study that he shows supports that, but he excluded data because he's a fucking propagandist. I can't get over, why do they lie so much? Is it really that hard to be a left-wing YouTuber and just not lie? Lying by omission is still lying, bro. You're drawing a false conclusion from the studies. Just stop lying. Oh, and those burps you're including, they really help. They really help to further your points, because when you're lying and then you burp, it's like, it's very passive and it's like, oh, he's full of jokes, this guy. Yeah, he lies a lot, but he burps and he's kind of like the town jester. Very funny. Not funny at all, really. And it's also just dishonest, bro. It's crazy too. I don't know. And it's of all the things, right? Of all the things that these bread tubers could be arguing for, universal health care, gun reform, whatever. Why do they always want to go to like this fucking drag show for kids is not a big deal? Or LGBT people who sexually abuse minors, not a big deal. Or it's not common, or it's not happening. Or grooming is not a big deal, or it's not happening. It's like literally is though. Like it fucking is. this. It's just like S-tier gaslighting. They just act like it's not happening. But literally, one Google search and you'll get millions of results that bring you to articles of instances of this stuff happening. I'll give you a few examples off the top of my head. First example is the books. The books in public schools. This was a big thing, I think 2 years ago, where there were public schools in the libraries that had sexually explicit books available to check out for children and available for them to access. And they were brought to the schools under the guise of it being acceptant and LGBT positive and progressive. And when parents went to these school board meetings, like the PTA and stuff, they would read excerpts from these books. There was one book in particular, it was called like Gender Queer or something. And then there's a bunch of other stuff. In my other video, I did a video on the Nick Merckx thing back when that was happening, and I remember I referenced a few other books. Anyway, these parents were reading passages from these books to people or to the like faculty at school board meetings, and they were getting like kicked out. They were saying like, you can't say this is inappropriate, that language is not appropriate. Decorum, order in the court. But it's like, motherfucker, what do you mean order in the court? What do you mean decorum? What do you mean that's inappropriate? This is the stuff available for children to check out at your library, at your school. It's too, inappropriate for adults to discuss this stuff. Well, then how must it be for children? You got to put that inappropriateness meter to the fucking second power right there. Second example is the drag show stuff. This is obvious. We saw examples of this earlier. We literally have drag performers, 16 minutes, 12 seconds. That's where we are. Drag performers performing in front of children. It's not gonna lick itself. What does that mean? Tell me what that means. Children are fucking seeing this shit. That's one example. The twerking in front of literal dozens of families. Okay, example 3 is in media. I saw this too. Blue's Clues celebrates Pride Month. All this shit. It's using children's media to discuss LGBT subjects in a non-age appropriate manner. It's subversive. They're hijacking children's media to push an agenda. So those are 3 examples I can give you off the top of my head. I'm sure if we sat here and I did, research and I got my fucking thinking cap on, we could do this all day. But that's basically my point, and then they act like, oh, it's not common or whatever. What did he say? I want his quote.
Let's say that there is any sort of legitimacy behind the idea that gay people are grooming kids. Not that there's any fucking study to support that ever.
Yeah, there's no legitimacy behind it. I didn't just give you 3 examples. And he's definitely not giving you more and more and more than I am. Yeah, there's no legitimacy behind that, guys. Take it because I burped, though. Because I had a derp. Fart. Poopy fart. Not that gay people are groomers. Hey, Apple. Knife. Everybody do the flop. I like trains. I like turtles. I baked you a pie. Oh boy, what flavor? Like what? Just randomly having a fucking derp moment.
Considering that you're terrible at research, I have to ask, is there no evidence, or are you unwilling to accept any evidence that you could be wrong? Obviously, this is not something that can be studied directly, because when you do research, you have an obligation to do no harm, which means a direct study would be immoral, because it would be child abuse to try and change a child's orientation for science. So any evidence to prove that kids can be groomed in this way would have to be indirect. And when we talk about indirect evidence, there's actually a lot. Here's an NBC News article titled, "Percentage of LGBTQ adults has doubled over the past decade. If younger Americans continue to come out at increasing rates, the proportion of adults who identify as LGBTQ will exceed 10% in the near future. Currently, it's at 7%, which means 10 years ago, it was roughly 3.5%. This article was written in 2022, and if you were an adult from the years of 2012 to 2022 like I was, then you might have noticed that there was a heavy push towards marketing LGBT stuff towards kids. You had genderless parenting, inappropriate books in school libraries.
This is what I was talking about, this book.
You had the later seasons of Degrassi that made every main character LGBT. Ethan was a teenager at this time, so he probably doesn't know that there is a stark difference between the time when I was a teenager in the 2000s, when the mindset was, oh hey, there's a gay person, cool. Anyway, to the 2010s when the narrative was, we need to make sure that kids know that gay people exist every second of the day. So after a decade of that, what a surprise, there are more LGBT people. However, I'm sure one of these people will say, yeah, but that's just because everyone's more accepting now, so people feel more comfortable coming out. All you have to do to disprove that idea is to look at the Gallup poll that NBC is referencing and notice that all the adults who are now identifying as LGBT are like freshly 18 Gen Zers. You don't see a massive increase in the percentages of people identifying as LGBT past the millennial generation. Most notably, Gallup said that the numbers went up from 5.6 to...
But it's also doubling every time. This is basically double. This is basically double. This is basically double. This is basically double. Isn't that so fucking weird? Not that it's even just going up, like linear, but it's fucking doubling every time. Very weird. Can we talk about that? Why is it specifically doubling?
Most notably, Gallup said that the numbers went up from 5.6 to 7.1 during COVID between the years of 2020 and 2022, when every blue-haired teacher was ratting themselves out on TikTok, telling people how they were replacing the American flag with the pride
Dude,
flag.
what the fuck was up with that trend? Do you guys remember that shit during the pandemic? We have a pride flag in my classroom. I think that shit kind of died down, but dude, what the fuck was that about? So weird.
And indoctrinating elementary school kids with gender theory instead of teaching them useful stuff like math. Not to mention that Pew came out with a study saying that trans and non-binary identification is through the roof in young adults from 18 to 29. Wasn't this like only 0.4% of adults just a few years ago? How is it like 10 times that now in younger people? So there we have it. A leftist mainstream news outlet, Gallup, and Pew are all saying that LGBT numbers are skyrocketing right around the same time that there is constant promotion of it. What a coincidence. Here's the part that's more worrying, and why I think that the Groomer title is appropriate. While I do think the Born This Way narrative is true for the majority of the LGBT crowd, I also think that there is
What do you
evidence
guys
that
think?
childhood...
Do you guys think that you're born gay? Well, there's no gay gene, so I don't know. I feel like it's early childhood something happens. I don't think it's possible to be born gay. Every species, when they reproduce, the offspring is meant to produce offspring of its own eventually. Maybe there's like a genetic mutation or something that requires you not to breed. If it's telling you not to breed, then the gene wouldn't be passed on because it can't be passed on because you're not breeding. If there was a gene that told you to not reproduce, that gene wouldn't exist because it wouldn't be reproduced on. So how are you? I don't know. Nature versus nurture debunks the argument the born into gay. Well, yeah, I think it is. From what I understand, I think it's early childhood. Like within the first year or two of being alive, that there's things that can happen that can create behavioral manifestations. Maybe it's neurochemistry. Because the way I think about it, right, is like, think about like a gay guy, but then completely change his upbringing. Is he still gay 100% of the time? I don't know. Or take a straight guy and put him in a completely different environment, like no dad. That sounds fucked up, but like no dad, no friends. Who knows? Maybe there's a different outcome.
The trauma can change someone's sexual orientation. This is something that Dr. Drew says a lot.
The clearest way I can sort of help you understand it is this, and this is an important concept for everyone to get in their head, is that when awful things happen in childhood, when things that terrorize us in childhood happen, physical abuse, sexual abuse is sort of the paradigms, abandonment, something about those experiences, and I'm going to use a biological sort of way of describing it, wires our brain in such a way as to, and this is going to sound kooky, but it's simply how humans work. Terror gets converted into attraction around the age of puberty. So we start getting attracted to people and circumstances that really reenact the traumas all over again.
That being said, I found this 2001 study that says that gay men and lesbian women were significantly more likely to have experienced child sexual abuse. That's some evidence that something's going on here. However, that's just what the abstract says, so let's look further into the actual study. This study surveyed about 1,000 people in a California college classroom and at a Pride Parade booth. Here are all the questions they asked. They also gave criteria for what was considered abuse. The victim had to be 16 or under, with the perpetrator at least 5 years older. The perpetrator also had to be at least 16 years old. Honestly, I think that criteria is a little light because it largely removes child-on-child abuse, where a child who is usually a prior victim will do something like abuse a 10-year-old when they're 11. Personally, I would like to see a study on this topic with adults who were victimized under the age of 13, because trauma during pre-puberty is way more harmful than trauma post-puberty. Anyway, here's the chart that we're looking for. It shows the number of victims who identified as gay or lesbian after the abuse, and it's about 1/3 of the victims for each category. Also note that gay and lesbian identifying participants were far more likely to have been abused by a same-sex perpetrator. That's pretty decent evidence that you can change someone's orientation with trauma. It's not 100%, but it does happen. I think if you had more questioning, like the specific age of the first instance of abuse, and a definition of abuse that includes perpetrators who are under 16, you would see more participants saying that their orientation changed after the abuse. Moving on, let me ask, what do groomers do? Well, they expose kids to adult material. That act typically precedes getting physical. On that note, as far as I've found, this book Genderqueer has been reported to have been used in middle schools. I can't show it, but this book contains full-on explicit content. You cannot show this stuff to kids. Middle school in America is ages 11 to 13. This is not appropriate for an 11-year-old, and it's probably not really okay for a 13-year-old to see this, despite what kids commonly see on the internet these days. Also, more recently, there's this thing that happened here involving New York middle school.
Breaking: Lakeland schools in New York gave middle schoolers resources which included shopping for stalls, how to enlarge your and the importance of representation in pornography. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck is happening, bro? What the fuck is fucking happening, bro? Why is everything so fucking perverted now, man? Makes me so sick. You just can't support this. You just can't. There's just no way you can support this in your right mind. Watch the assistant superintendent squirm as he's shown the material his school's offering to middle schoolers. When this was revealed, the school made a decision to not to notify parents what their kids were being potentially exposed to.
Which was weird as fuck. These people should be in jail. But young kids who get exposed to adult material pre-puberty often describe it as weird and a frightening experience. They describe it as traumatic. Speaking of kids who are younger than 11, and often a lot younger than 11, despite how much channels like Ethan's or Noah's will gaslight you about what goes on at pride parades, there are tons of adults doing stuff in public in front of children that is not okay.
I've never been like a Pride Month guy. This is the first year I think I've ever remembered that it's happening.
Yeah, man, like I don't even care. First of all, I don't believe anyone has forgotten what month Pride Month is, because in June, every major business has rainbows and shit everywhere. Nice lie. Second, if you really aren't an expert on this stuff and haven't been involved with Pride, who are you to suggest that weird stuff doesn't happen at Pride? Now, as a person who actually has been to a Pride parade, well, as a person who stumbled upon a Pride parade on accident while he was in Austin, Texas a year and a half ago for a different event, I will say that it was not child-friendly. Last but not least on the groomer front, people who—
Bro, because it's not just— it's a slippery slope, bro. It's like, I don't know when people are gonna wake up to this, but it is a slippery slope because it's not just, oh, I'm proud of being gay, but it's now about kinks, bro. It's like we need to get dressed up in dog costumes and walk around the streets in dog costumes to see other guys in dog costumes. It's like not just gay pride, it's furry pride, BDSM pride, slave roleplay pride. I mean, what's their catchphrase, guys? Love is love. They become so sexually acceptant of different types of love that they don't draw the line for when something is inappropriate or when something goes too far or should just not be normalized or needs to be taboo in society. What's the saying I always like to say? When you accept everything, you stand for nothing. I think that's so true. When you accept all forms of sexual desires, then you have no morality. Because the truth is, with sexual desires and people taking action to pursue their desires, when they're consumed by something, they will do something unethical or immoral in order to satisfy themselves. And that's ultimately what I believe. I think you need to stand against that. You can't just say, love is love and love who you want. You have to eventually take a stand against what's wrong, genuinely. And if you don't, I think you're evil at this point.
Who run adult websites are actively trying to get straight people to watch LGBT content, and those sites want kids on them.
I was just taking the same approach in that they're the biggest, they're everywhere, so they need to appeal to every single niche. And I think they've done a lot to explore kind of every mainstream thing. So what they need to do now is they need to try to push stuff that's less accepted. Like putting a trans male or a trans female in a scene, you wouldn't get that on a normal mainstream site. So test it out. See if you get a bigger audience with it. See if you can convert somebody, right?
Wait, what the fuck?
Some like lonely, repressed 12-year-olds are going on trans angels and
yeah, I think so. I mean, like, think about it. Let's say you're 12 years old.
So does this guy work at a porn company?
Figuring out your sexuality, maybe even your gender. Wouldn't it be helpful to see not a celebration, but just like maybe a normalization of something that you think is what you want, you know? Probably helps a lot.
Yeah. I think it shapes sexual attitude. Like even if you find out you're not.
Fucking disgusting background audio, by the way. So I guess this journalist pretended to go on a date with this guy and is like exposing the fuck out of him.
That's not what you prefer.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing point. Because like, if let's say I was 12 and I saw like angels, I saw all these different sites, it would help me figure out what I do like and what I don't like. Because if you're exposed to nothing, you have no idea. And maybe you're more like pliable.
The guy literally just admitted to child abuse and said it was a good thing. So even if you deny evidence that you can change a child's sexual orientation, there are certainly people out there who say they're trying.
Yeah.
But speaking of my last video, where I go into the problem of freely accessible adult content, with the age verification being, trust me bro, the very real issue with all the LGBT propaganda, outside of the fact that we are currently in a birthing crisis, is that when young people are exposed to sexually explicit material, particularly if it's before puberty, that material is traumatizing and causes them to develop all kinds of pathological behaviors and mental health issues by the time they become adults. And the great thing about people with mental health issues is that they are extremely easy to turn into useful idiots who will parrot any political agenda that you tell them to, which is why I think the powers that be spend so much time flooding LGBT stuff towards kids and do nothing to help prevent 8-year-olds from being exposed to adult content, like arresting people at Twitch for the artistic nudity rule change. It's not about rights. In terms of the LGBT crowd, they have had public acceptance for at least 20 years now. Literally no one cares if you're gay. And gay people have had all the rights of straight people since 2015. Where's the discrimination? Now when they talk about LGBT rights, they talk about the right to give kids hormone replacement therapy.
No queer people are coming for any kid. Most queer people I know don't even want anything to do with kids. They don't even want anything to do with kids.
Oh wait, that doesn't happen.
The amount of minors that transition in this country is minuscule.
Oh wait, I guess it does happen, but it doesn't happen that much, so we shouldn't worry about it? I mean, there are plenty of things that happen to small amounts of people that we should worry about, like school shootings.
I was literally about to say that.
The reason we don't let 12-year-olds make permanent, significant, life-altering decisions is because a lot of people like this person regret it when they turn 18. When you say, LGBT kids are going to be harmed if we let the conservatives get in the way, do you ever think about the kids who got mastectomies or took hormones, only to decide later after permanently damaging their body that they like their biological gender? What about those kids? This all goes back to the arrogant Hassan style of arguing of, anyone who's not on my side is evil. I mean, I watched this guy Ethan have a melty because Charlie White, a non-political streamer, effectively a normie, thought that leftist modern art was stupid.
Fascist propaganda and gamer streamer should not be saying the same things.
I'm sorry your favorite YouTuber doesn't like exactly everything you like. This kind of mentality breeds a certain kind of narcissistic person who is terrible at seeing the viewpoints of others and never listens to feedback, so the points they make are incredibly weak, like trying to own your enemies with a study that you found that actually makes you look very bad. It's even worse when you realize that the biggest mistake that he made could have been avoided if he just read the 2 paragraphs that were directly above the table that he showed. The point being that arrogance, narcissism, and always believing that you're right is never a good way to find the truth, and only looking at things long enough for them to confirm your bias like Ethan does is a very lazy way of thinking. The truth requires you to say, maybe I'm wrong. Is this data right? What are my opponents saying? And is there any validity to it? If you want the truth, or the closest thing to it, then you should start with doubt and disbelief and see if the information still holds up.
This guy's spitting facts.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter.
Good shit, dude. Holy dude, society is cooked.